Do-do-do. Bump. Okay, right on. There we go. Hey, sweet boy. Oh my goodness. Look at you being so cute. Make sure these turn off. Yep, there we go. Oh my goodness. Hey, ideas, meal. Oh my god. What the fuck? Why am I yawning? Oh, yes, sweet boy. Why do you... never mind. I'm not even gonna bother with you. Gotta do this. Oh, baby. What are you so damn sweet? There we go. Talk of the Canada Dry. I'll be on soon. But how can you be on soon if you already are here? I'm assuming you probably at work or some shit. It's all good. Actually, it was meaning to start this like way earlier, but frankly, I just like zoned out playing a game that I was in the middle of on lunch. I finished it up. When I came back from work and zoned out on it for like an hour and a half. I would have definitely been here way sooner, but I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna get this game and get it finished up. It's on Age of Empires 2, one that I grew up playing very frequently as a kid growing up, so the nostalgia was nice. It was a nice little wave of nostalgia to go down. But nonetheless, I am now here. For the good old Sunday. And let's see here. Just doing this. Miss Sarkamon videos. Dude, I know, like every Sunday where they will have him on. There was a guy on Corn, looks like, wedding dancing on Adderall, and the thumbnail is so fucking weird. Here, let me see if I can find a way to make it big. Oh my, yeah, here it is. I don't get it. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, Korn's got, like, one of those weird, like, troll babies or something like that. Like, one of those little baby doll things from, like, the 90s or some shit. Honestly, I just literally want to find out where that is in here. I just want to see where he whips that up. Because evidently he pulls it out. Where is it? It's gonna come up here. No? Alright, hold on. Someone's had to have had a timestamp on here. Kyle's the type of dude to drink a Monster and say he's high. Trying to see here. Trying to see. So no timestamp? Did I will put a timestamp? Man, fuck people. Well, it's only an hour 24. It has to be in there somewhere. Because why does he have that weird thing? Why is he holding it up? When does he hold it up? It is a topic of discussion for them. And I wish to find it. I know, skimming through. It has to be like somewhere. Wait, what the fuck? Oh shit, Kyle's vaping. Oh, you know what? It might be somewhere in this very. You know, it's probably in the beginning here. I'm gonna just. It looks like it's in the beginning somewhere.
Howdy doody. Think anyone says that anymore?
No, nobody ever said that.
There's gotta be one person that said howdy doody today, besides me.
Like
Yeah, howdy doody. I mean, like, sometimes I say that when I'm at work. Someone's coming up, it's like, howdy doody there, bro.
Said it for real.
I'll get ya.
Like, howdy doody. Like
Yes.
how they say hi or something.
So I think there's probably two people that said it today.
Yes.
There's probably someone who said that shit like real,
Yes.
and then there's probably someone who said it as a joke. And then there's three people.
Wow.
Because I said it as kind of inquiring if somebody said it. So I think three people said howdy doody today.
There's probably some.
I unironically will say that, like, not daily, but I just usually say howdy. But I'll say, like, how you do? We'll get you. You know, or something like that. I mean, I'll straight just do that. Like, I mean, people will say howdy doody there. Like, I mean, what? Howdy doody there, bud. Corn, you are, like, sometimes I swear he is in Iraq. Like, his daily living situation is quite literally Iraq. Because, I mean, it's just, like, how do you, like, go around the world just being, like, not knowing that people say howdy or howdy doody? Because howdy doody is just basically saying how you doing. It's just kind of saying it in such an accent that it just sounds like you're saying howdy doody, but it's just, you pretty much are just saying how you do, or how you doing, or how you doing there. You know, it's just like, it's basically just, oh my god, Corn, you are a sad boy sometimes. I love him though, but oh my god.
And then
There's like mocking it.
yeah, there's somebody like you who would say it, or
And Kyle straight up looks like a coach. Like, he literally looks like a soccer mom coach right now.
would say who's just fucking around type shit. So yeah, that's probably true.
And there's just mad people in the world, so there's definitely three people that said howdy doody today. Anyway.
Yeah, but they can only be like in the U.S. or like Canada. People who say that shit. Like nobody in India is like howdy doody. Nobody.
Someone in
Ireland.
Sweden might have randomly said that shit today. Like in like
Sweden.
Sweden or like Poland.
Oh, how they do there? Oh yeah, would you like some coffee? Oh my god, like, yeah, some motherfucker in Sweden, bro. Corn, dude. You're honestly are more likely to hear someone say howdy do in like Iceland or some shit, and that's just literally because there's genuinely, like, whether tourists or otherwise, kind of a higher density of Americans that will be there. Zuka. It's annoying, a cat. But, I mean, mainly just because either American citizens will move there, or it's cheap to go there, so they'll visit there.
Shit, there's probably some corn.
So a lot of the Icelandic citizens there will sometimes pick up on some of the more American English dialect. Or Canadian English dialect.
Are you watching the NBA playoffs?
Yeah, I'm watching.
Okay, now they're going into stuff I really don't care about. I still want to find that baby. That was in the thumbnail. I still want to see that thing. Where is it? They can't just click me. Oh, is it going to be right here?
Oh, Kelly Clarkson. Kelly Clarkson, they gave her
No.
a show.
I watched that shit.
No. Motherfucker, they had like some weird, like, you can't just have a thumbnail like this with Corn holding that fucking thing without even having to talk about it. Like, come on now, it's in here somewhere. Oh shit, now I have to like wait for it to load. Fuck. Goddamn. Oh, I know it'll be in here. I'll skim this bitch. Oh my god, wow, clickbait. Clickbait thumbnail. That'd be... Oh, it's in the end! It's near the end! It's near the end! Oh my god, what the fuck? It's near the end.
In the store that I'm like, who the fuck will buy this, like, 3 foot tall knife? And it's like, that's like a knife. It's got like a sword in it.
It's fucking hilarious.
I'm like, who the fuck? My mom is that person. It's like, when stores are selling shit like that, like, they gotta stop selling
Weird ass
shit
baby
like that.
dolls.
See, I'm in between you and your mom. Like, if you had your choice, you would do it like a 20-year-old college student, where you would just have your bed and your TV, and that's it. Like, you would do it the most bare bone shit, and your mom's out there buying knights for decoration. Like, I'm in the middle. Like, I'll try to find like a nice painting I like or something, and be like, I'll hang that shit up, and then I'll leave it at that. You know, like, you gotta split that. I would split that middle ground. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I was walking through that home decoration store, I was sort of like, I kind of want to walk through here all day, because I saw a lot of interesting shit. There was like a whole painting area where it was all just different kinds of paintings.
But I was just walking that shit, and I'm just like, who, like...
Honestly, that's me with online shops. I'm kind of a sucker for, like, looking at weird paintings that people will do and stuff, and be like, oh, that's a cool painting. Ooh, that's a cool painting. Ooh, that's a cool painting. And to be like, I kind of want that, but I actually only really have bought in, like, a couple. Like, I actually have a few, but, I mean, that's all... Like, I have the ones that I browse. Like, I only really will buy, like, maybe one out of, like, 100 or something that I will actually, like, browse around and look at. I still want to see this damn
toys
thing.
We had downstairs and just shit in the house, and I was just like, I would be content just throwing all this shit out.
Yeah, the toys thing, I'm with you, because toys get...
but just everything.
They're
like,
wasted plastics, honestly. I kind of agree.
This shit just needs to be thrown the fuck out.
What the fuck? Oh, what's wrong with that?
The clutter has gotten to you. That you can't stand the clutter. I mean, look, that's what happens when you have 3 kids, dog. You're gonna have clutter everywhere.
Oh, he has 3 kids? Man, Corin.
No. There's this guy.
What is that thing?
Like, do we need this guy?
I hope that... I really, really hope
The
that
fuck, man?
that shit ends up being the thumbnail for this podcast.
No, it was. It actually was.
That shit.
Thank God it wasn't
Like,
clickbait.
this guy's name is, like, Croc McDean or some shit. Molly might have...
Croc McDean?
88.
McDean.
Since 88, oh my god.
That shit is so creepy, bro.
It is so fucking
It
creepy!
is like Toy Story. This motherfucker comes to life and he runs shit in this household.
Oh, yeah.
He'll probably, like, do a mafia hit on you now that you just, like, ousted him, dude.
No,
Like, look at this GS outfit. Like, this is some gun dealer ass outfit.
This is some
yeah,
GS.
some, like, velour suit type shit.
Yeah, like, when he's done, he's like, oh, y'all clowning me because Corn picked me up today and was showing off my shit. Get back to work, motherfucker.
Get back. Running like some sort of plantation. What the fuck is that
You're
thing?
just gonna keep giving to showing his little bangers.
What the fuck, man?
Oh, see, this is the shit. Like, I just need to... If I can make...
I mean, I guess that's what happens when you have 3 kids. Suddenly, you just start having the most weirdest of things. Just like, and it's like, yo, look at this weird fucking thing. Look at this weird ass thing that apparently my wife got, you know, for the kids. This thing is fucking creepy. Like, cause Jesus, I wouldn't like... Oh my god, you know what? I did, though. I mean, growing up, I did have some of these weird ass things. And it's just like, sweet Jesus. Like, looking back, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, those Furby things? I mean, when they're, like, all, you know, like, in their pristine form, they're okay, but if they start deteriorating in any way, oh my fucking god, they get really disturbing very quickly. And I know there's, I actually know I still have some, and I know a few of them are still pretty good, but I know there's a decent amount of them that are just fucked up, and because of that, look like demented little nightmares of hell. Oh my god. I love it. He just has that creepy... man, I would not want my house having those creepy-ass fucking things. Like, seriously. That should be fucking creepy. It's like... yeah, it's like it's in Toy Story, only instead it's actually more like Chucky, where that thing is gonna, like, come and eat you or something. It's just like... I'm gonna come nibble on your toes. It's like, oh god. Oh my goodness. I love these little Colin corns though, because some of the most randomest of fucking shit is some of the most randomest of things. Corn specifically will just like drop as a take is just fucking ridiculous, but pretty hilarious. So I mean, you can't go wrong with them. You definitely can't go wrong. But oh my god, I'm so glad I wasn't debated by that fucking weird ass thing. Good lord, the thing is definitely very creepy. Jeez. Man, I'm just like, like if the what was the character's name? Like Sam or some shit? Like the dude who was, you know, like mutating all the toys and basically have some sort of weird, like, Unit 731 fucking, like, bio lab for toys, basically, in his house, in his room. Like, I mean, I imagine that toy would actually be, like, the toy equivalent of that. It's like, get back to work to reorganize the toys. It's like, oh god, oh no. So, God, what are you doing? What you doing, boy? What you doing? What's this? The Republicans call NRA, or Republican calls NRA grifting scam, calls for changes. Huh? Is this an onion?
Has become. It's gone from defending rights of gun owners. It has become a grifting scam.
Well, this was refreshing to see. Republican.
Well, damn. Okay. Wait, who's this dude? I guess we'll find out.
Adam.
I mean, actually, I mean, he's honestly not wrong. Like, if you look at the history of what the NRA initially was, it wasn't even like what it is today. It's like, I mean, back in the day, it actually was founded by Civil War veterans and northern hunters who recognized that a lot of the southern soldiers and conscripts were actually better marksmen in a lot of ways, and wanted to essentially have something that would be able to compete with that. So despite like a lot of conscription and a lot of poorer industry in the South, they did have better marksmen and, you know, better shooters in a way. But despite that, I mean, obviously, that didn't really mean shit. Especially if you have obsolete, you know, older equipment when you have more modernized shit coming down on you on the other end. Don't really mean shit. But, I mean, despite that, they wanted to at least have something that would kind of compete in a way, where it was essentially more so like a marksman's competition club, more so than like an actual weird grifting, lobbying, like gun lobby scam shit, where it's just like, how do we basically let the gun lobbies and the defense industries just rake up more fucking money? Like, I don't know when that shift really happened, but it, yeah, it was definitely one that I would most certainly say is more of a recent thing. Like, probably, maybe, I'd probably guess, like, the 60s or 70s is when that shift probably happened.
Man that owns an AR-15 and once held an A rating from the NRA is now calling for some basic gun reform while slamming the NRA. So check him out here on ABC's This Week.
Yeah, so who is this guy? Representative Adam Kinzinger? Oh, it's Kinzinger? He's usually a piece of shit. Wow, okay.
Gun purchased at 21 is a no-brainer. If you look at...
wow, okay, wow. The first thing that comes out of his mouth is actually one I fervently agree with at this point. Yeah, I think when it comes to buying a firearm, 21 and over, I think is absolutely fine. And I think should honestly be the federal law of that. Like, I mean, yeah. So, okay. It's off to a good start. A lot of problems with military industry started after World War II. Not really. It actually started way before that. Remember the Maine? That's when it really started. But it didn't really start raking up until World War One, and but there was a lot of culture in society in the U.S. that it's still very critical about that. It didn't take until World War II to really shift that culturally and societally wise in the U.S. But the military-industrial complex has been around since like the late 1800s. Like, they've been around for quite a while, way before World War II.
Shooting, you look at Buffalo, you look at this shooting, these are people under the age of 21.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, it looks like there's some... Okay, so he says 18 plus to buy long guns and 21 and plus to buy handguns as a federal law. I just when it comes to 18 plus at this point, especially with especially with things like school shootings, I just don't necessarily feel as comfortable about that. I mean, I guess maybe 20, but like honestly, it might as well just make it 21 and over across the board. But I mean, I guess I'm willing to be okay with that, but I definitely would far stronger prefer 21 over across the board.
Brain develops and matures a lot between the age of 18 and 21. We just raised, without really so much as a blink, the age of purchasing cigarettes federally to 21.
Yeah.
The reaction of my colleagues of the NRA to say, hey, if you want to come and take my gun, so I'm going to walk around, I'm going to go into the Michigan State Capitol with my AR because I can. By the way, can I make a point that open carry, especially with ARs, is one of the more insane things. Maybe out west it works fine, I'm not going to go after it there, but to walk into the state capitol of Michigan with a gun because it makes you feel tough, these are the kinds of things that Second Amendment supporters are doing no favors to defend.
Wow, yes, he's fucking right. A Republican that I have pretty much so far no disagreement with whatsoever. What the fuck? I'm actually, I don't feel like, this feels weird. But you know what? I will take it. Especially after this Uvalde thing. Honestly, I've been seeing a lot more agreement on the right and the left with a lot of different issues that usually are very tribalistic and divisive. Like when it comes to gun issues and cops, like especially these two things, I'm starting to notice a lot more, while maybe not totally, a lot more like unification on the idea that something seriously has got to change about that shit. While conservatives might think it's a little bit more of an isolated thing and don't want to do as much, like they're still starting to kind of realize it. And, and like it just really takes, I think, like different progressives to be like, well, this is kind of the problem. This is a systemic thing. It's not just Uvalde that's having these problems. It just happened to be so fucking highlighted considering just like the fact that because of how systemically cops have been, this is how they felt like this situation should have been treated. Like that's essentially just what the fuck they thought. I mean, and eventually, I think a lot more of these, conservative-leaning type people will start being more convinced of that shit. On top of that, I mean, it's just like, especially if this whole gun thing, knowing that there's Republicans like this dude now who are starting to be a lot more open about just, at this rate, really the more basic common sense, more like mass agreed type of things when it comes to legislation on guns and shit. Like, I mean, it really just kind of shows. Let me rephrase that. Our modern problems of the military industry sparked off after World War II. I mean, I know what you meant, but, I felt like at least kind of clarifying a little bit when you mentioned that. But either way, I mean, you're not necessarily wrong at all.
Generation. So for me, I woke up the morning after the Vegas shooting. I had shot a bump stock before. I heard the audio from that shooting. I knew that was a bump stock. And I called for banning bump stocks, which, by the way, was ultimately done. And because of that, the NRA basically said Kinzinger's a rhino or whatever their language was. And I realized, especially then, the only thing the NRA cares about is raising money on your back. They don't really give a lot of money to people. They can get people upset. And they're competing with another group called Gun Owners of America. You think the NRA is crazy? Look at the Gun Owners of America. These are the ones that believe there should be zero restrictions on owning guns. And now NRA...
Well, thank you for enlightening me on that. I'll make sure that if anyone mentions them to, enlighten them on how much of a fucking bunch of psychos they are.
This group for...
I'm leaning heavily towards raspberry. I mean, I just got a regular flavor right now just because that's what 7-Eleven had, but if I were kind of feeling it, I'd probably do peach. But that's just me.
That's where they get their
raspberry, money. Honestly, it sounds pretty good right now. I'd probably do raspberry.
The NRA has become... It's gone from defending rights of gun owners. It has become a grifting scam. And all you have to do is look at the last few years of the grifting scam of the NRA to know that that's true. I think if there's a way to maybe, when it comes to ARs, is there a special license you need to own one? Are there ways that we can ensure that those that own...
I mean, honestly, sure. Like, I mean... I don't necessarily think maybe a special license, but having a license to own specific firearms, instead of like, oh, you get to just own like a 22 or a shotgun, like a 20 gauge or something like that. I mean, you know, there's different, like I think having like a kind of a tier system of, you know, what firearms you can purchase based on the license that you have, I think is okay. You know, and the higher the level, the more harder and stricter it is to get that type of license. Now, you know, does that mean, oh, you know, like, it's just like Roblox, they're just gonna, you know, restrict your ownership, and slowly but surely that's gonna, you know, take our right? No, like, I mean, that's just beyond stupid. Like, it's just there to ensure that, like, you know what the fuck you're doing when it comes to, you know, certain levels of firearms. Because, like, when it comes to basic ass, like, revolvers or, like, handguns or, you know, 22 rifles and stuff like that, they're not that hard to work with, and they're pretty easy to manage and handle and maintain. So having, like, you know, like a very strict licensing for something like that, you know, I don't think is as necessary. But for something like an AR-15, or, you know, for like my Vishka, for example, or, you know, more like higher grade type of weapons like that, yeah, there probably should. You know, there probably should be a little something that's a little bit more higher and stricter when it comes to a licensing thing, you know, in comparison to just, you know, some basic, you know, like gun license where it's like, you know, you have some that you have for your home to defend yourself, or, you know, or something like that. Base license for hunting rifles, shotguns, AR should not be included in that base license. Yes, that's essentially is what I'm saying. Like basic bolt, like, you know, your first license gives you, you know, basic hunting rifles, 22s, and shotguns, and 9mm. Like, it'll give you things like that, and then higher licenses, you know, more stricter licenses will give you, you know, more options. And if you want to go get those, you know, all you have to do is just, you know, work up the licenses. Like, you get your first one, and once you pass that, you know, you immediately go to do your second one. I mean, you know, if you fail, you know, for, like, let's say you fail a test or something like that, then you have to wait a certain period before you have to retake it. You know, so it's just like, there can be a system in place to where even if, like, let's say somebody fails, like, you know, a safety test or something like that once, but passes it the second time, you know, I think having a system in place to where, you know, just because somebody, you know, doesn't quite know everything quite yet, but, you know, gets it down later, you know, it's like, all right, you know, I think having at least something in place, you know, for them to be able to have that, or maybe people that, you know, might be depressive, and maybe the current period they're trying to acquire a gun is, you know, not at a mentally appropriate time, but then they're able to kind of get their life more in order and be in a better mental state, and are going to be able to be safe around a firearm, then, you know, during that period, then they can be able to. You know, but obviously things like that would have to just be a case-by-case basis. Which I think having a licensing system will help, you know, make it more of an individual case-by-case basis. You know, so then there can be somebody that, or at least, you know, something in place to at least, you know, work with that one individual more directly. Which honestly I think will help, especially when it comes to having things that are like more rigid background checks, and having more stricter red flag laws and shit, or even like, you know, green, yellow, and red flag laws. Like green obviously meaning you pass, yellow where it's like you might have to go for, you know, a quick interview and evaluation really quick just to make sure you're okay and all good, and a red flag meaning you failed and you're not going to get it. And you might be able to, you know, again, depending on how long you wait, and depending on the procedure of that, or you're not getting it, period, depending on how severe the red flag is. You know, I think things like that, you know, should be, you know, like, I think that should really, at least, you know, be the standard, you know, but alas, here the fuck we are. And honestly, this is how I know that there's even Republican-leaning gun owners, or conservative-leaning gun owners, that, because I've talked to them too about shit like this before, and, you know, and I would describe it pretty much the same way I'm saying it right now, and they would be like, yeah, pretty much, yeah, I agree. Yeah, they're, you know, they might have like a little slight, you know, I don't know about like, you know, a whole tiered system, or I don't know about like, you know, like, you know, strict red flags or this or that. You know, they might have like maybe one or two things that they, you know, think might be a little too far, but at the end of the day, pretty much all, you know, across the board, they pretty much agree. So it's like, I mean, and some of these people are even Trumpy types, you know, and shit. You know, people from my work, or some of my family and shit. So it's just like, I mean, the idea that, you know, people just aren't in favor of, you know, some better regulations on these type of things is a little fucking silly. And that just shows how much, you know, gun lobbies like the NRA are, yeah, fucking grifting scams. And basic training for guns, because that should be required, honestly. Like, I mean, honestly, one thing that, especially when it comes to, like, shops like Sports Warehouse, for example, that, obviously have a gun counter and shit, there should be, like, a little, side room where you can be able to, get some basic rundown physically and written tests-wise to, be familiarized with that weapon and take a class to be more responsible, safe with said weapon and of similar types. Whether it's not your model, like, just because you're getting an AK, for example, doesn't mean you should take some safety courses on things like ARs and shit like that, too. Like, you should be able to. And I think you should, just because it can help familiarize yourself with and be more safe and responsible when it comes to these things. I mean, I think it should just be, requirements. My stepdad thinks an AR, if you buy to buy an AR, should I take a basic firearm class? Yep. I think that should be standard for buying a gun, period. But yeah, I mean, when at least, especially for like more like military style like weapons like ARs, AKs, and like or like HK 417s or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Like. There needs to be at least some basic form of, like, training physically as well, when it comes to this type of stuff. Sukaf! What are you doing? What are you chewing on? Huh?
So look, again, we all have to admit, and no, 99.9% of AR owners aren't walking in and having mass shootings. Is there a way to differentiate and make a distinction there?
I mean, I see that's true too. Honestly, not just AR owners, but just gun owners. Like, a majority of gun owners aren't, nor are thinking about doing shit like, like these mass shooters are doing and shit. Like, a lot of them are pretty much just kind of like people like me, or at least, some, like, flavor of it. A flavor of me when it comes to it, at least.
That ultimately includes not selling them anymore. That's fine, because to me, again, I'm focused on saving life now. At the same time, what's the first thing we can do that I think will mitigate this problem? Let's raise the age to 21.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think there's at least some first steps to where even, far-right conservatives can agree with, and doing things like having a more rigidified, stricter background checks, increasing the age to 21 and over to buy firearms. Like, I think, those two things, and amongst, a couple other ideas are honestly, I think, a great start to help, try to mitigate some of this fucking problem. And honestly, if it took fucking Uvalde to finally get this fucking shit, then you know what? I mean, honestly, it's about goddamn fucking time. I mean, it's like, let's just hope it doesn't take another one to really fucking start putting a fire in the ass to actually do it. Because as much as people like Kissinger are saying it, like, are they actually going to follow through with it? That's kind of the fucking thing. Is it just going to be the same shit, different day, only this time they sound like they're being serious about it, or is it just going to be fuck all? I mean, considering that, like, even Republicans, at least, a Republican is starting to sound pretty serious about it. I mean, like, he's definitely got, like, allies and close people in Congress and shit. He's probably, talking to them and trying to convince them, like, look, I mean, especially probably from more pro-life and family values metric, but it's like, I mean, if we really truly care about families and the children, like, we also have to protect them when, they're in their schools and like and all this other shit, and actually have officers that are trying to protect the fucking families and blah blah blah. Like, I mean, he's going to be pitching it to his colleagues like that. And honestly, either way, he wouldn't necessarily be wrong either. Not fan time for my country, but not being able to drink or smoke them out. Yeah. Also, we should raise the minimum military recruiting age to 21 as well. Yeah. Because, like, it's a little odd, if we have, like, 21 across the board for all this shit, but if you go in the military, you essentially have comp blanche to get away with all that. Because, what, you think if you're 18, and you're at a barracks, what, you don't think one of the other fucking, grunts are gonna fucking hand you a beer and you're not gonna drink it? They will basically make you. Like, I mean, yeah, you're going to be drinking when you're, like, fucking 18, 19 if you're in the military. Guaranteed. Like, some of the other dudes, you know, who might be like 21 or 22 or some shit will be absolutely fucking be giving hookups to everybody else. Especially if all the other 18, 19, and 20-year-old fucking recruits and grunts and shit are all fucking doing the same thing. You don't want to be left out. So, yeah. I mean, all in all, you're gonna be like drinking, shooting a bunch of fucking guns, and not just single autos, but all automatic too, and big guns, motors, artilleries, tanks. Like, I mean, you know, and you get all the drinks you want basically. But you know, when you come back home and you're still not 21 yet, can't drink a beer yet. Even though you've been doing it all the time on base and, you know, fucking overseas, you know, who knows where. Fed it back. It's been around. Hey, Ripsy, have you seen this video yet? Of a Republican, it was Adam Kissinger. But he essentially called the NRA a grifting scam, and basically has been calling for 21 and over federal law for essentially to buy firearms, which is what I agree with. He's essentially actually being like honestly, this entire thing, you'll have to check here. I'll just play it again in full without saying anything over it. But frankly, as far as I'm concerned, there essentially was literally nothing I disagreed with what he said, like, whatsoever. Like, not a single fucking thing.
Gun purchase to 21 is a no-brainer. If you look at the Parkland shooting, you look at Buffalo, you look at this shooting, these are people under the age of 21. We know that the human brain develops and matures a lot between the age of 18 and 21. We just raised, without really so much as a blink, the age of purchasing cigarettes federally to 21. You know, the reaction of my colleagues of the NRA to say, hey, if you want to come and take my gun. So I'm going to walk around, I'm going to go into the Michigan State Capitol with my AR because I can. By the way, can I make a point that open carry, especially with ARs, is one of the more insane things. Maybe out west it works fine, I'm not going to go after it there, but to walk into the state capital of Michigan with a gun, because it makes
I honestly don't know why he decided to say that, but I mean, I kind of think why, I could kind of get an idea why, but... You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I know why. Because Democrats are letting crime run amok or some shit.
These are the kinds of things that Second Amendment supporters are doing no favors to defend that Second Amendment the next generation. So for me, I woke up the morning after Vegas, the Vegas shooting. I had shot a bump stock before. I heard the audio from that shooting. I knew that was a bump stock. And I called for banning bump stocks, which, by the way, was ultimately done. And because of that, the NRA basically said, Kinzinger's a rhino or whatever their language was. And I realized, especially then, the only thing the NRA cares about is raising money on your back. They don't really give a lot of money to people. They can get people upset. And they're competing with another group called Gun Owners of America. You think the NRA is crazy? Look at the Gun Owners of America. These are the ones that believe there should be zero restrictions on owning guns. And now NRA has to compete with this group for crazy because that's where they get their money from. The NRA has become, it's gone from defending rights of gun owners, it has become a grifting scam. And all you have to do is look at the last few years of the grifting scam of the NRA to know that that's true. I think if there's a way to maybe, when it comes to ARs, you know, is there a special license you need to own one? Are there ways that we can ensure that those that own them are the ones, look, again, we all have to admit, and no, 99.9% of AR owners aren't walking in and having mass shootings. Is there a way to differentiate and make a distinction there? I'm definitely ready to engage in that conversation, and maybe that ultimately includes not selling them anymore. That's fine, because to me, again, I'm focused on saving life now. At the same time, what's the first thing we can do that I think will mitigate this problem? Let's raise the age to 21.
Yep.
I mean, like, frankly, I don't think there was really anything that I disagreed with, really. If I want a tank, I should be able to buy one, damn it. You can't buy rounds for a tank? Yeah, you actually can buy a tank, you just can't buy rounds for it, yes. Like, essentially, the cannon on it will be non-functional. Like, either, like, the triggering mechanism or the loading mech will be essentially, like, a block. or taken out, so you actually can't fucking use it. So even if you somehow found tank rounds on some mysterious, random circumstance, wink wink, then you can't fucking use it. Unless you somehow found the parts to replace the part that you need to, then okay, Black market can be probably a very interesting place, I imagine. But I'm sure it's probably very fucking hard to buy things like that. Well, you know what? No, it's not. Because honestly, there was like, who was it? Like, there was some fucking... What was it, like a Hungarian or some shit who bought a Hind and was literally going to use it to fucking, like, try to mow down immigrants or some shit and Muslims trying to go into his country or some shit. It was some legit random fucking backwater European country full of fucking racists and shit, and was just, like, and deadass bought a Hind. Not just a Hind, but a Hind with the fucking military, like, weaponry is still attached to it. So, like, he could get the rockets, load them up. If he has, like, 37mm cannon rounds, he could load the fucking gun up. Like, the dude can straight up, like, use that shit, as a fucking, weapon of war, basically. Because, well, it is. A Hind 24 is an attack helicopter / transport vehicle. It could do both. All I gotta do is break. I heard there are massive vaults for surplus World War II gear. All I gotta do is break into one of them vaults. Why the fuck would I do that when I could just go to like some military surplus store? Like, honestly. Like, I could just go to like, some old military surplus store and just find, not just World War II shit, but all sorts of other shit. So. Or online. Where else do you get drive a Sherman tank? I don't know, find one on fucking auction. You know what? I'm gonna look on Google right now. I bet there is. Third result on Google. Well. I found a thing. Authentic Sherman tank from 1943 on sale for eBay. This is 3 years ago, so I guarantee you this is no longer on eBay. I guess that's the tank that was on sale. So I guess you just have to get fucking lucky. God damn, this is a kind of fucking kitted out fucking Sherman. So, yeah, it's 3rd Armored Division. Huh. Well, there you go. So, yeah, you just have to get lucky and just happen to find one on the internet if it happens to be one. The greatest of death traps. I bet you can't find one with a working cannon. Well, no, well, duh. I bet you can. My parents are officially in town. Gonna get hella drunk tomorrow. I was driving the last 2 days, but not tomorrow. Lol. Fuck yeah, bro. Imagine the gas mileage you'd get, like, what, 10 miles to the gallon? Probably less than that, bro. Probably fucking less. Honestly. Oh, I do know that there's this military surplus store called the Warfront that's in town. And the dudes that run it actually have a working Kuba wagon in there. And they also have, I forgot what it is, but it's like that tractor bike. Like, it, where the front is like a motorcycle, but the back of it's all tractored out. I forgot what that's called, but they have one of those in working condition. Actually, they have like a little museum that you can go through for like $5, full of like different U.S. military surplus stuff for like the 30s to the 40s and shit like that. And going for a rundown about like what the U.S. service men and army were kind of repping, and some German stuff too that they've collected over time. And actually, they have an original bomber jacket from bomber from a bomber pilot that was actually born and raised here, who was part of one of the bomber divisions that were flying out in Europe. And then I think their granddaughter or their grandson donated the jacket to them for their little museum place, which you can still see it there, which is pretty cool. It's all decked out in like some old paint and some markings and stuff like that. Markings of all like the different successful raids of all the different little bombs of how many sorties they did do, and the guy did a lot. It's military surplus store in town sells surplus rounds for cheap. I just worry about buying those bullets because surplus rounds have corrosive materials in them. Yeah, that's why they're cheap as shit. Like, I wouldn't be one to buy those, because then you'll probably have to really heavily start replacing your fucking shit. Humvees get 10 miles per gallon. I guarantee tanks are even worse. Wait, Humvees? Do they actually get 10 miles a gallon? Are we serious? Baby, baby. Can I help you? Yeah, what you can do? Guess I jank as fuck. Yeah, you could think the fossil fuel industry, considering that like 80% of inflation is literally just fucking price gouging by these massive corporations. Give me cheese, biatch. You know, I actually technically do. I have some ribs, and I can give him the bones and stuff once I'm done with them. Oh, he just wants to rest your head right here. Oh, you're so cute. Yes, you is. Yes, you is. Oh, who's a sweet baby? Yes, you is. Yes, you is. Oh my goodness. All right, you can get off the lap now. Projected to be $6 per gallon by September. Wow, they really want to fuck us. Honestly, like one of my coworkers basically said it pretty perfectly. And when it comes to the shit, it's just like when it comes to the powers that be and shit, it's all about just taking more and more and poor. It's just like the more to give, it's just like the longer things go along, the more they fuck you in the ass, basically. I think he said the more they got you by the balls, but either way, same thing. Because he was, at least for his contacts, he was saying it's like it's like what's the point with things like car insurance. Like honestly, one thing that that says is like why doesn't the government pay for things like car insurance and shit. And I was just like, yeah, I mean, why? It's same thing. It's just like, when it comes to so much of, insurance, whether it's like house insurance, life insurance, health insurance, car insurance, all this shit. Like, it's all basically just, like 1,005 different ways to just fucking literally just, fuck you as a poor. Because when you're rich, you don't need this shit. You don't need any of it. I mean, basically, you can get insurance bonds, and that's how you can even rake in the fucking cash and shit. Because literally, if anything, you wouldn't even need it. So you could just pull it all out, and you could just have a bunch of fuck you money, just on the side a little bit, and make a little extra, then just put it right back in. So it's just like, I mean, it's just, there really is like, so many different ways how the fucking rich and the owner class have just fucked us by the balls. My measly $950 a month, can't keep it up. Yeah, and I really want to see what my fucking wages are this week and shit, because I swear to goddamn motherfucking Christ above, like, if it ain't, oh, there will be some hell to pay. Because, it better be goddamn 18-something bucks. Like, it's, like everyone was, saying it's going to be so far. I'll make sure there's, something addressed about that, if not. And by, addressing it, making sure that there's, addressing it with a bang. And that's you updated your Steam picture, by the way. Nice. Yeah. I found an old vintage version of the UFCW Local 555 logo. Actually, you know, yeah. Did you see my About page? I updated that 100%. I just totally changed it. I should read it out. Because I have some quotes in there, too. Here. Oh, fuck. I need a...
You're gonna have to stop keeping an eye on that dog. Because he's chewing up everything I own. I can't put everything I own up out of
Oh, my
his food.
fucking God.
You'll run a gate across here or something.
Well, because I do not have a connection. I'm gonna need to... Oh, wait, I don't have any full fucking, goddamn Wi-Fi. So I can't do it. Fuck. I want to, but it wants the internet for it, and I don't got that right now. Fuck. Well, shit. So gotta pull himself by the bootstraps. Yeah, seriously.
You can probably hear it. Just like crack him and tell him no.
Yeah, when he has like a couple bones in a toy. Like he literally has like a few bones in a toy in here. Like, I mean... And plus, I literally cleaned it up over there and shit, and there shouldn't be anything for him to get to, so... Like what, like a cardboard, you know, bits and shit from like a cardboard box? Because there's a couple cardboard boxes over there. Let him chew if he wants to. I mean, yeah, like, there's certain things I don't want him to chew on and shit, but it's just like, when it comes to the things that are, you know, the stuff that, oh, my stuff, it's like, frankly, a lot of that's just bitching from, you know, shit that happened more so months ago, more than anything. And just because there might be maybe, like, some paper or fucking, like, you know, some cardboard bits and shit, he's thinking, oh my god, it's just doing it again. It's like, and I've been seeing him, like, he's literally grabbed one of those, like, wood log things that have been cut up. He's been chewing on that. And he has one of the bones he's been going back and forth with. He has a rope, like he's been chewing on other shit. Like, he even admits it, he doesn't have exactly the great sense of fucking track and chime. Like, legit. Because, I mean, like, he will think, like, some shit, you know, that happened, like, a couple of weeks or a month ago. He'll think it happened, like, a few days ago or some shit. And it's like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? Like, he still gets me after the electric cord shit, which he hasn't done that since he was 1 month old. Because I made sure that I disciplined about it, you know, because that's something that's, you know, some serious shit. You know, and he hasn't done it since, but yet he'll still bitch at me about that too. And it's just like, dude, shut the fuck up and get over it. Like, move on. Like, I've said before, but he literally will just bitch to bitch. Like even if there's, you know, nothing really to bitch about. Like, because there obviously wasn't, because he wasn't all tense about it or whatever the fuck. He, you know, he just wanted to bitch. Like, he will literally just do that sometimes, or he'll just bitch just to bitch. Destroy battery charger. I mean, there was that other one time, too. But, again, like, I mean, as of... Like, honestly, the thing he really does is he snoops in on my fucking food. Like, that's the one thing I really need to watch him for. Because he'll scavenge. See him now here and go after a bag again. Sukov, get over here. Bruh. Well, you know what? I think I know how I can access my shit on Steam. I'll just do it for here. Zukov Savage. I mean, he's just Zukov. He's just who he is. He's a little fluff. Well, that wasn't hard at all. There you go. But yep, found that old actually on the actual UFCW 555 website too. Here, here's some quotes. I'll die like a true blue rebel. Don't waste any time mourning. Organize. Joe Hill, November 18th, 1917. Anarchism has one but infallible, unchangeable motto: freedom. Freedom to discover any truth. Freedom to develop, to live naturally and fully. Lucy Parsons. Another one by her as well. Never be deceived that the rich will permit you to vote away their wealth. That was back in the 1880s, by the way. Anyone who's showing off more than 2 chords, anyone who uses more than 2 chords is just showing off. Woody Guthrie. Here's another one by Woody Guthrie. The world is filled with people who are no longer needed and who try to make slaves of all of us, and they have their music and we have ours. So, I basically just turned it into like a union propaganda page. This essentially just what I did. People also view... What the fuck? What the fuck, Google? What is this? This recommend... It's like people also view my YouTube page. Like, no shit, it does. Weird how Google's... will do that. What the fuck? It's like... Okay. You know what? I'm gonna look myself up on Google. I'm just gonna see what happens. Well, the first thing is my YouTube page. And my former fucking Twitch. Like, you know, let me click it on here. Well, let me on here. Nope, it automatically wants me to go on the Twitch app. I'm on okay. It sees me on Etsy and Steam. Oh, woke.net on here too? Right on. Back when all the protests and shit was going on. Knox influencer, YouTube analyst, and report. What's this? Woke.net still a thing? Yeah, no, it was. Yeah. What the hell? Okay, so my subscriber count is down 0.37%, but my total view count is up 0.36%. How's that make sense? I'm getting more views, but less fucking... What, huh? Kosi.tv is still somehow a thing. Lamau, not surprised. Similar and related YouTube channels. Literally nothing at all. What the hell? Poppins Patches on Facebook actually had a little post. What the fuck? Poppin' Spatchin on Facebook actually straight up, when I did a review of, the tricorn hat that I got, they actually posted it. They're just like, another happy customer. Dude, that's pretty dope. That's cool. Alright, right on. That's Nick Fuentes Network. Oh, right-wing grifters. Yeah. Well, not just right-wing grifters, but just fucking incel Nazis. Just straight up. You know what? I'm starting to like Poppin' Patches now. They're kind of libertarian types. Like ANCAP types a little bit. I can kind of tell just based on some of the stuff that they have for sale. But, whatever. I actually kind of like some of the stuff they got. Obviously, I don't have it in here, but, you know, because of my tricorn that I got. I mean, obviously, I like some of their shit. Based in Nazi build. What, just like Cozy TV? Based in Nazi build, my dude. You know what? I don't need a sub now. There we go. What's this little song? Union Buster, huh? It's a Joe Glazer one.
Well, let me introduce myself. Jack Shyster is my name. I'm a management consultant. Union Buster is my game. I'm a master of the con job. I'm an expert at the hoax. And I make my living stealing bread from the mouths of working folks.
That they do.
Union Buster, the bosses trust me. I help keep their employees overworked and underpaid.
Okay, I like this song already.
He helps keep their employees overworked and underpaid.
I was watching a gun control debate between Vosh and some right-wing guy, and honestly, I'm just tired of debating on whether people deserve to live in peace or not from guns. Seriously. Same old shit.
Spreading hatred, fear, and lies. Cutting down the hopes of workers who are trying to organize. I'm a union.
I'm honestly surprised you still watch Vosh from time to time. I kind of, just especially because of how he debates and how he like goes back and forth and reacts to shit. I just kind of, it's like, eh.
It helps keep their employees overworked and underpaid. When I was young, I used to fight with kids one half my size. I pulled the legs off bugs and spiders and the wings off butterflies. Now I've grown to be a man, I haven't changed at all. I still step on the underdog on the land of small. I'm a
union buster, the bosses are jaded. Happy they're always overworked and underpaid. Union buster, the bosses are jaded. Happy they're always overworked and underpaid. Been trying to branch out and watch new people. Watch just too cucked by his audience, in my opinion. Yeah. You wanna know what's funny? It's like, while Vosh is like too cucked by his audience, Kyle Kalinske is actually quite the opposite. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when it comes to certain aspects about Kyle, like, he's kind of a bitch. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, he kind of is. Like, he still thinks Joe Rogan's his friend, and, oh, privately I've been able to convince him on some shit, and this and that. Like, it's like, man, low-key, though, you kind of, it's like, don't be a bitch. Like, I mean, burn a fucking bridge, you know, when you need to, dude. Like, fuck. I mean, he's still, like, and honestly, there is kind of, something to say, about, like, his subscriber stagnation a little bit, and I think a lot of it's, because of shit like that. Do you mind? Because, like, I mean, he'll still kind of, be, like soft, with, Rogan and shit. And even though he kind of had burned the bridge with Jimmy Dore, he still doesn't really want it totally burnt. Like, because Jimmy was the one who burnt it, and he's like, alright, well, you burnt it, so whatever. I didn't do it, at least. But he's, it's just like, come on, dude. I mean, I think it's just because he, also has a very strong tendency to repeat himself. I mean, it's like he needs to realize that, like, hey, I mean, you gotta, kind of start improvising a little bit with this type of shit. Like, doing the, we gotta repeat 24/7 thing, like, I mean, I kind of know what he says at this point, especially when it comes to videos. Like, I mean, even as, like, because I honestly noticed that a lot of criticism that he tends to get is from older viewers, like people like me, especially on this type of shit. It's not like I don't hate Kyle or anything like that. I still love him or respect him, but, I mean, but that's kind of partly why I, respect him and shit a little bit. Unless your name starts and ends with Tedward Cruz, then Kyle is going to be all unicorns, fart, and rainbows if you're trying to be your friend. Yeah. And I know he's admitted this a little bit. He doesn't like, having, like, enemies, so to speak. He doesn't like, being antagonistic, which I get. But every now and then, you gotta learn when to just, like, say, hey, fuck you, you're being stupid on this shit. Instead of just being like, oh, this is just like a disagreement, Sukov, what are you fucking doing? Yeah, it's a bandit. It's a cat. Yes. I'm not helping you, bandit. I'd fart in Kyle's face, just see, what do you do? He'd probably literally just be like, what the fuck, bro, and, like, discuss why that was fucked up. Now, if I was me, or if I was him in that scenario, I'd just fucking punch you in the face, but, but no one fucking... Oh my god, Zuka. Would you quit fucking with that paint can? Why are you fucking with a paint can? Is there a reason why you're messing with a goddamn paint can, you son of a bitch? Oh, is this why he was bitching? Oh, really? Seriously? Let's bitch because he apparently found this. A random fucking old-ass stupid piece of fucking paper that's, like, older than shit. Like, give me a break. Told you he just bitches to bitch. Oh, there's papers on the ground. Oh, I gotta watch over here. Motherfucker. Anyway, but couldn't punch me without turning messages to go orgy, I promise, because you like daddy can have some more. Oh, you fucking degenerate piece of shit. I mean, at that point, I'd just be like, God, I just saw, like, immediately be like, oh, motherfucker. What thoughts was that, Jefferson Bezos? Jefferson Bezos would enjoy it. Deadass, probably a secret kink of his. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's like I said, I still love Kyle and shit, but man, he just, like, needs to, like, have some cojones a little bit. Like, he comes from, like, I mean, if he does one of those live streams again, I'm gonna seriously send him a super chat and be like, bruh, I mean, like, do you think, like, all criticism about you is, just, like, do you look at any criticism or, like, look for your comment sections or for your subreddit or anything like that? Because, I mean, I've noticed a lot of older viewers, seem to make, some legit criticisms about things like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, So it's just like, all in all, it's like, obviously come from it at a good faith, manner, but, maybe send, like, a super chat or hit him up, like, in that way in one of his live streams or some shit. Bandit, you're not in fucking distress. You're just being a bitch. I'd gladly do cocaine off Ignor's ass. I want to be trying to get cocaine anyway, because it's probably laced with fentanyl and you wouldn't want that. It's laced with the fent, bruh. You don't want it. Took off. I hear Katie slowly dying from not being let out. I know, man. He sounds like death when... Yeah, I don't get it. I guarantee you Zukov's just staring at him, too. Meow! Meow! Here, play another little tune. This is a fun one. They go wild, simply wild over me. Though I've never done them now that I could see. I'm as gentle as the lamb, but they take me for a ram. They go wild, simply wild over me. Yeah, the cop, he went wild over me. They wheeled a gun where everyone can see. He was breathing rather hard when I saw my union card. He went wild, simply wild over me. And the judge, he went wild over me. And I was hearing he saw that we had could agree. So I let the man obey what his conscience had to say. He went wild, simply wild over me. And the jailer, he went wild over me. He locked me up and threw away the key. He freed me in a cage. He went wild, simply wild over me. And they go wild, simply wild over me. I'm referring to the bedbug and the flea. When they murmur in my sleep, they disturb my slumber deep. And they go wild, simply wild over me. Well, the roses grow wild over me. When I go away to land that is to be. And until the body part and the stillness of my heart. When the roses grow wild over me. When the God, he went wild over me. And I going to fight up to one bended knee. They took me yell. They shot me down to hell. They go wild, simply wild over me. Oh my god, Sukov is going fucking crazy over that cat. Man, that cat will straight up attack you one day. You're a long-lost son of Jeff Bezos. Well, I better get my fucking inheritance from that piece of shit. I better get some inheritance from that bastard. At least I didn't inherit his baldness, that fucking weird, shiny, bald fuck. Is still choosing to drive drunk. Paul Pelosi arrested in DUI. Wait, that's fucking Nancy's husband? Oh my god, dude. What a fucking sad joke of a worthless, sad shag bag. Honestly, though, you know what? I actually, weirdly enough, have some sympathy a little bit. Wouldn't you be drunker than goddamn fucking shit? Like, pissed out of your mind, drunk, if you were the fucking husband of Nancy Pelosi? I sure as fuck, I would be a hardcore alcoholic. Oh my god, dude. I'd be like... drunker than fucking Christopher Hitchens on Johnny Walker Black, dude. You know the right's gonna over this tonight? Dude. Another thing where we can unify on, brother. At least when it comes to being, Pelosi. Oh, he got fucked. He got messed up a little bit. I heard that little... Get him, boy! I'm referring to Bandit by that. Get these ancient boomers out of power. You just splash water everywhere, you fucking degenerate! Ugh. Get these ancient boomers out of power. Remember that one Republican who literally, like, fucking murdered somebody in a drunk driving accident? Where there was a dude walking on the side of the road with a flashlight, and his excuse was he thought he hit a deer, and the fucking sheriff helped him cover it up, because the idea was like, oh, well, I didn't see a light, and we didn't see evidence of people or anything like that, so it must have been a deer or some shit, so, why, your car's too banged up, so let me, the sheriff here tonight, help you by, letting you drive my car and shit. The Attorney General of one of the Dakotas. Yep. I think it was North Dakota, if I remember correctly. And the fucked up thing is, the dude who died had his flashlight not far away from him in the ditch, literally right on the side of the road. So they fucking definitely absolutely saw that somebody was killed. The cop and the fucking Attorney General just, collaborated to cover it up. So, yeah, like, frankly, when it comes to DUIs or, drunk incidents, especially if they accidentally kill somebody, like, Democrat or Republican, like, nah, like, they're not gonna get anything more than a slap on the wrist, if fucking that. Like, yeah, the fuck thing is more Paul Pelosi's gonna get away with being a drunk fuck. But I honestly, at the same time, don't blame him, because I would be a severe alcoholic if I was the fucking husband of Nancy Pelosi. Like, I'd like have half the mind to, like, try to divorce her, take everything she's got, but knowing her power over me, like, Bill Clinton left a mess on Monica's dress like Hillary left in Benghazi. Oh, damn, that's dark. Dude is a parasite landlord also. Well, luckily, the only sympathy I have is that, I definitely see him being an alcoholic because being, the husband of Nancy Pelosi. Like, that's the only thing I have sympathy for. Beyond that, he's also, one of the victims of the wall. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, it's just another head in the wall. That was satire, YouTube. But, ugh. Honestly, speaking of which, I want to kind of slowly but surely, like, kind of, bump in, like, some labor leftism in the Portland subreddit. With, a little bit of a push on landlords, too. Because I know how, like, infested the Portland subreddit is with them. And funny enough, at least when it comes to labor unionism or labor leftism and shit, there seems to be a very strong agreement about it. Like, a lot of posts that I make, that even radicals they are, do actually get some likes. Not always, but at least some. So... it's just like, alright, I guess some people, are, like, kind of in agreement here. So, I'm just, like, thinking, I wonder if I can, be able to, kind of slowly but surely, kind of sway, some of these weirdos. Especially considering that unions are, becoming more of an aggressive thing, and labor consciousness is becoming more active. I mean, better time than ever. I mean, there's not much you can do considering it is a Reddit, and the idea of, like, fucking, it's, like, as much minimal progress, if there is any, when it comes to online shit. I mean, there's no reason not to, at least, because there's other random people, that might just randomly see that shit. Like, honestly, that's why, my Steam About page is practically, essentially just a union propaganda page. Because, frankly, it's just like, even though as small as it is, when it comes to random people that might pop on that Steam page, I mean, fuck, hey, they at least see that shit. Like, honestly, small as it is, and maybe as insignificant it might be, it's still some form of direct action, just trying to get it out there. And again, as small as it is, as tiny as my voice is and shit, it still gets out there, and and just because it's, I'm just one person doesn't mean I'm not the only one. There's plenty of people, especially far bigger voices than me, that are spreading this message. It's just about maximizing it. Again, as small and insignificant as it might be, doing it nonetheless. Just because it's showing that, hey, if it's having that much of an influence on a bigger scale, then, and also on the smaller scale, then something's right about it. Something's going right with it. Though any criticisms of landlords gets met by an army of concerned trolls, but my soul landlord. And honestly, it's just like, I would just tell them, like, frankly, hot take, even small landlords are parasites. I kind of tend to agree. While I might be a little bit, I might be more understanding of them, maybe, because, like, hey, if you do have, like, some extra wealth and you want to, like, give it, some, like, a part of your, one of your properties, to somebody, to rent out, I'm not, like, inherently against that, but, like, there needs to be some very strong regulatory stipends in place and shit when it comes to things like that. And honestly, it's like, I mean, I know some people that are like that, who are actually legitimately, pretty decent people, especially when it comes to them renting out to people, when it comes to some of their, to a couple of their properties and shit. And it's just like, I mean, I can at least be a little bit more understanding. Bandit's trying to get on my lap, and he's... Okay, come here, buddy. Hey, buddy. Sukov? Seriously? What's up, Bandit? But, yeah, like, still, it's just like, I mean, the concept of landlord ownership is really more so the problem. Like, at least in my mind. Like, that's why I'm not really, like, as strongly as fucking, critical about, like, maybe, like, mom and pop type of thing, or, like, somebody who has, enough money to have another property and potentially rent it out to somebody and, help renovate other properties and shit. I mean, because if it's a small, person, or, like, like a little small mom and pop type of thing going on and shit, I mean, and depending on who it is, of course, I mean, in a way, I would trust them more so than some massive real estate agency and shit that doesn't give a fuck about actual, like, conditions of the place and just wants to make a profit off it. So, I mean, there's, like, while I'm still critical of it, it's more so just a system of landlord ownership, and just that in itself, more so than, the people that might be doing it. Of course, there's going to be plenty of small, landlords and shit that are definitely just as parasitical as the real estate agents, too. It's not like they don't exist, because, honestly, in a lot of ways, probably a lot of them are, because they, some of them think, oh, it's so cutthroat that, especially with the real estate monopoly on it, that I have to be so too. So, it doesn't exactly help with the cycle. This fucking cat, oh my god. Jesus, you fucking little shrew-ball of adorableness. You're such a sweet baby. You got fur everywhere, bro. Yeah. Like how just does that. Yeah. Yeah, buddy? My goodness, you're just a good boy. Yes, you is. Smushing his face and everything. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you a good boy. Yeah, my boy's just hanging out with me. Well, Sukov, get jealous, bitch. He was here before you, you know it. That's why Bandit's the king, and you're just merely a prince. Bandit, your tail's in my weed! Bandit! Oh man, that's just a guaranteed fur in my weed. Son of a bitch. You little prick. Oh my god, you asshole. I love having a honey badger gun from Call of Duty, basically submachine gun with a built-in suppressor. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Soccer mom needs to try this live. Eminem's just answered Flames Police with new mix. What's the mix? Oh my god, it doesn't just say the mix. What's the mix? Coffee nut and lime king pie. Wait, milk chocolate and salted caramel flavors? What the fuck are you doing? What are you actually trying to do here, dude? What are you doing, Bandit? I am concerned for everything that it... Oh my god, I am... Alright, hold on, I gotta watch him. I need to know what he's doing. What the fuck are you doing, Bandit? What are you doing, Bandit? You fucking muff. What are you doing, you sweet, adorable boy? Are you trying to figure something out here? Do you need to be back on my lap because you don't know what you're doing? You literally don't know what you're doing, bro. Yeah, get back on my lap. You literally don't know what you're doing. What was that about? What were you trying to achieve there, dude? Oh, you goof. What was the achievement you were trying to do there, buddy? What? What the fuck are you doing right now? What is this? What are you doing? What? Do you mind right now? What? Do you fucking mind, mate? Oh my god, you're oh my sweet baby rays. Alright, I hope, wow. What, Bandit knocked off your bong? He's done that before. Oh my god, I got fur everywhere! Bandit, ah! Fucking Christ alive! I'm getting British here. Fuck me, mate. What in the bloody... Bloody hell, you little cunt. Fuck me, mate. Fuck him up, Bandit. Ugh. Okay, did I get it all off me? It's everywhere. It's like floating. Ah! Yep. I'm seeing fucking Bandit fur all over this. Cause this fat ass muscle tail just like all oh my god. Yep, fuck you. You, like, who's more of a terrorist right now? What the fuck happened here? You're knocking okay. You're not chewing shit. You're literally just knocking everything over, you psychopath. Fucking Christ alive, mate. You know what? No. Nope. Okay. Suck off, you fucking weirdo. Hey, you. Where'd you go? Sukov. Hey. You know what? It's over there for him when he needs it. Oh my god, that fucking crazy dog. And that crazy cat, too. Your fucking rope's over there now. Yeah. Weird ass. Oh my god. Ugh. Fucking hell. Man, the life of having pets, I swear to God. I meant the only reason I put the interview over Pineapple Express is simple. You could see Kim Jong die. I mean, yeah. I mean, the interview is honestly, like, I've seen it, and between Pineapple Express and, the interview, at least when it comes to, like, what, the, old Kim Jong-un thing, I mean, I mean, they're kind of two separate movies. I mean, they're both stoner comedies for sure, but I definitely would put, I mean, I don't know, I guess between the two, I definitely probably put the interview over it either way. I mean, if, you know, I don't know. It's kind of, I've seen the interview more recently than the Pineapple Express, though, so I can't, like, honestly, it's hard for me to really, I have to, like, watch them side by side, honestly. See which one I like more, basically. Alright, well, he's in the backyard now at this point. He should be enjoying himself. Here. How strong is a Russian ballistic shield? You know what, comrade? Council group say that too many people die on front line. We solve problem with ballistic shield. Hold this and hold gun on other hand and just trudge into battle. Oh my god, I mean, honestly, look at this fucking thing. Does this actually work? Like, I'm skeptical that fucking thing works. I mean, I don't know, maybe it does. But I doubt it. That thing don't look like it would work, honestly. I mean, besides, like, if you get shot with, you know, or at least if that thing gets shot, like, if you're holding it, like, you're gonna feel like, get boom, you know, and, like, and that shit could probably move it whichever way. Like, I mean, it's not exactly practical. Working with a pistol, yeah, maybe. I guess it's called the VANT, or the VANT. I'm guessing, like, vertical, like, something. I mean, I'm guessing something in Russia or something. I don't know. I remember, a couple months back, a little meme of, body armor that was actually face armor, called, like, it was some, like, Chinese, like, body armor face mask or some shit. And there was, like, a few different, YouTubers that put it to the test and tested things from, like, 22s to 9 mils, shit like that. And deadass, that thing is the most worthless piece of fucking shit that has ever existed. Like, I mean, when it comes to the practicality of it, it's literally the most impractical thing that you can ever have. Looks like an over-engineered riot shield to me. Yeah, it looks like a riot shield that has, like, Kevlar, like bulletproof vesting and shit. It's like you take a bulletproof vest and just put it on a shield. I mean, that's what it looks like, honestly. Which, I guess, if it comes to more, like, military... Like, I can see that working for maybe, like, military police. I mean, but, like, I mean, unless they're, like, you know, quelling, like, you know, some sort of, like, militarized riot or some shit, like, I mean, there's not really much of a need for something like that, honestly. I don't see that really. I don't know what use that can have on the battlefield, let alone, like, even in law enforcement uses. Because there's not really many instances where if you have a riot shield, you're getting shot with it. Unless it's like the Orange Revolution or something like that, you know, because there were people that, you know, found, you know, some of their old, you know, grandpappy's weapons from the Soviet era or some shit, and, you know, we're in fucking Liberty Square, you know, taking pot shots at fucking police snipers, too. Seen shields like that used in sci-fi, so maybe there are some use equipping troops with fire shields. Well, yeah, like, dude, there was like, I mean, there was like the police department, I forgot what, but it was back during 2020, where one of them literally had like a Captain America fucking like taser shield or some shit. Like, and I honestly thought it literally, like, if you take the fucking outer plating of like a Captain America shield, like, it looked like, you know, the interior of one of those or something. It was just like, what the fuck? It was like a taser shield, so if you get hit with it, you're getting tased too. And it's just like, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, that shit just looks, you know, insane. And also, and at the same time, also kind of impractical, because what if that shield accidentally hits one of your buddies? You know, it's like, it doesn't exactly seem like the most practical thing, but, I mean, it's, if I would not want to get hit with that. Like, getting tased and then fucking smacked with a baton, fuck no. It's one thing getting tear gassed and shot with pepper bullets and batons and shit, but like that, that's a different thing. I don't want to know what it feels like to get tased. I have not had that happen. Nor do I really want it to. Some sort of custom-made shields have flashbang-style strobe lights on them to daze whoever they hit on top of hitting them. What the fuck? Do we need, like, laws on shields now? Do we need, like, laws or regulations on, like, what shields can be? Like, what the fuck? Why does law enforcement or, frankly, anybody got a shield that can do weird shit like that? Like, a shield is meant to be defensive, not offensive. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is this shit? How else can they be like Captain America while upholding none of his ideals? And even then, Captain America doesn't exactly have the greatest ideals. I mean, some of them, yeah, but not all of them. I mean, so it's like, even then, you know, it's like he's definitely a hyper-America-centric kind of pro-America imperialist, like, yeah, we're sending freedom everywhere type of dude. So it's like, you know, not all of his ideals are really great, you know, but, you know, I get what you mean, though, you know, because at least, you know, unlike a lot of fucking morons, you know, like, he actually is legitimately trying to do that, you know, so I could kind of at least, you know, see, you know, at least at that point, because he gets the extra powers to do so. Has his base moments. That's what I mean. The nationalism in a can superhero. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what Captain America, it's literally his name. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, but yes, he does have his base moments. Like, I'm not going to deny that. That's why I say, you know, he can at times. Like, he doesn't have all, like, not all his ideals, I'm saying, you know? There's no Captain Canada or Captain France man. I mean, there should. Why not? Let there, you know, if there's a Captain America, there should be, like, you know, Princess French, you know, or like the, you know, or like, you know, like, I don't know, or like, you know, the Grand Marshal France, or, you know, or some shit. Like, there needs to be, like, you know, some other ones. If Marvel wants to, like, diversify that bitch ass, like, do it with that shit. Like, have, like, Captain America have, like, a battalion of, like, you know, other captains, or, you know, like, other ranks and shit. Princess Frenchie. Well, that's not necessarily military rank, so, I mean, we gotta have to at least, like, kind of think some military ranks a little bit. To kind of keep it within that generalized, like, yeah, you know, type of, like, hyper-patriotic lingo-jingle shit. Anyone else knows that Batman beats up poor people in the name of fighting crime when he uses money to fund programs to reduce crime more effectively? Well, honestly, that's why, frankly, when it comes to the superheroes, Batman, I think, is honestly legitimately a piece of shit. And the antagonists in the whole Gotham Batman lore are actually, in my mind, the protagonists. It's like, honestly. Lieutenant Cuba would just be Fidel Castro. Fuck it, yeah, like, have it, like, you know, be a spliced genetic, you know, super soldier that has, you know, some of Fidel Castro's genes, and they basically took the one that had the most closest of Fidel's, you know, liking and shit, dude. Fuck it, yes, yes. Side by side of Captain America, dude, in a weird way, what if that, like, culturally, you know, puts more better relations with the American people in Cuba and shit? And honestly, frankly, most people don't even necessarily see, like, Cuba that negatively. Even, like, some of my conservative co-workers literally couldn't give really that much of a fuck about Cuba anymore. They're like, oh yeah, that Cuban Missile Crisis back in the time and shit. Yeah, you know, nothing really happens to Cuba anymore now, though, that's good. Like, they're, if anything, you know, it's just like, they don't really think of it. So, you know, it's like, if, like, honestly, it's just another side point, but the America's relations to Cuba are just fucking legitimately retarded as fuck. We just have this weird boomerized, like, we know that Cuban Missile Crisis, so fuck you bullshit. And it's like, oh my god, how long was that? Like, we can move the fuck on now. And that wasn't even inherently just Cuba, that was more of the Soviet Union with the proxy war with them more than anything, so it wasn't even really Cuba inherently for it. If it was like some other country, like fucking like the Socialist Republic of Panama or fucking some other shit, you know, it would be there instead. Like, honestly, I mean, Cuba, you know, they were just a puppet, you know, for the USSR at the time. Well, I guess maybe not inherently a puppet, not like the US would make them. Not gonna put this stuff. Captain China already exists. Are we fucking serious? Oh, Winnie the Pooh! I was like, wait a minute, are you actually serious? The Chinese have their own version? And no, you memed me. Oh, good, 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 excellent. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's some good shit. Ooh, oh, I love it. Gibby's already Rocket Man. And there's already a song in his honor. It's sung by William Shatner. Cool kids know what I'm talking about. Someone should do a grim dark version of Winnie the Pooh. Honestly, there should be a grim dark version of like all the like Disney stories and shit, because honestly half of the Disney stories, which aren't even original stories of Disney, by the way, but like when it comes to it, like they should do the legit OG versions of a lot of these stories, because they're legit grimdark and adult as fuck. So honestly, like I'd be totally down with like a more adult version of like, you know, live action versions of some of these, you know, like fairy tale stories and shit. Like Sleeping Beauty is legit actually a very fucking fucked up story, because the children's version, she just gets kissed and woken up. The adult version, she gets raped in her sleep. So, you know, it's actually a lot more fucked up than you think. And also, I don't think it's just Sleeping Beauty. I think it's actually the dwarves that do it. So it's not just one, it's like, what, 7 or 9 of them? Or the 8 dwarves, I know, or the 7 dwarves, I forgot how many specifically, but I mean, I forget some of the details. I just know that it's not like, oh, a kiss or whatever the fuck. It's some other horrible. I actually think it's a little like necrophilic too, if I remember correctly. I don't think she's asleep. I think they like revive her because she actually died because of the apple or something. So the children's version is fucking flowered up with rainbows left and right when it comes to that story specifically. So I know the other ones. I don't know the details of some of the other ones and shit. I mean, like, I know a lot of those ones tend to also be pretty dark too. Like, I know the and the one of like, what, I'm forgetting it, like Cinderella, yeah, that one. Like, I know the original one of that story is actually a little bit more darker too, in comparison to the more children's version of it. And afterward, the prince's defense, despite much protesting from his lawyer, I thought she was dead. Ooh, damn, that's dark. I'd kiss ignore bush. Oh my god, you fucking degenerate son of a bitch. Dude, the dude in Rapunzel gets his eye poked by thorns. So his eyes get gouged out by thorns. Oh my god. I don't know the dark story about Rapunzel and shit, but Jesus Christ, I mean, what else is there if that's, you know, one of the details? Jesus. Oh my god. Honestly, it just shows that a lot of these fairy tales that, you know, we see as kind of like children's tales and shit were honestly, frankly, more adult stories that, in a lot of ways, were kind of like horrifying. More so than anything. Why am I getting a goddamn YouTube community post about fucking Queen Elizabeth? Like, I literally don't care. I actually hope that I unironically hope that the next fucking thing I see about this inbred royal cunt bitch is that she finally has moved on from our reality. Like, oh my god, ugh. What is this world's fascination with royals? What a fucking reptile wretch. They didn't assist us in the original Cinderella carved parts of their feet to fit the gold, not glass shoe. Yeah, I think so. Apparently Frozen was based off a dark fairy tale as well. Not surprised. I mean, also, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, all of them are. Like, all the different fairy tales are. Ugh. I just seeing a community post about the fucking worthless royal cunt just fucking really pissed me off now. I can show you what Dark Story Frozen is based off. I mean, like, I'd be curious to know what Frozen's Dark Story is. Because, again, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, the more adult, darker versions of these different stories in live act. Oh, fucking hiccups, goddammit. Like I'm trying to say, but, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, live-action, darker, adult versions of these stories, honestly. Frozen blood test scene. Oh, I've seen this. This is a They Live parody, though. But I know, I've seen this before. 7 years ago, fucking Frozen's been around for that goddamn long. Are we fucking kidding me? Meanwhile in Purgatory, why hasn't the Queen died yet? They haven't decided who has to get her. Ah, so no one would. Indeed. Oh my god, man. Oh my god.
Now I'll show you what I already know.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
We'll do you last. What is it?
Damn, dude. Damn.
Fuck you too!
Damn.
I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
Oh, The Thing. God, I love that movie. One of my most favorite fucking movies, man. Oh, such a good fucking flick. God, I would... sure, everyone has to die. Just not right this moment. Holy fuck, Musk is the dumbest criticism basis ever. Essentially, he doesn't want... he doesn't hike his bootstraps up high enough by working 24/7 like Musk does. Musk, that worthless goddamn do-nothing fucking piece of shit, has no idea what work is. He wouldn't know what work hit him if it fucking literally slapped him on his ass cheeks and fucking, you know, shoved a fucking mop bucket up his ass. Not the mop itself, the mop bucket. It's like, nah, like, he wouldn't know what the fuck hit him when it came to the idea of work, that worthless parasitical filth. Exploiting, you know, of his fucking apartheid emerald mines in South Africa and shit. Literally just, like, you know, sues people to just essentially, you know, make him the founder of a lot of different companies and a lot of different technologies and patents and shit. Will fucking, you know, literally, you know, like, silence people and sue them into oblivion and pay them to shut the fuck up when it comes to this whole, like, free speech and shit. Basically, you know, takes all the credit and all the work for all the labor and the sweat that, you know, the engineers, researchers, and workers, you know, under him take credit for. Like, when it comes to work, it's basically how much, you know, fucking, you know, parasitical fucking leeching he can do off of fucking people. I mean, frankly, the Benito Mussolini treatment, you know, give it to him in fucking, you know, the streets of every fucking city in this country is the least that he fucking, you know, deserves at this fucking rate, as far as I'm concerned. Like, this, what the most absolute biggest wretched parasite that is probably outside of Bezos has existed, you know, on this fucking planet so far. I mean, at least, like, I mean, when it comes to, like, Zuckerberg, at least he puts his money into making himself an android. Like fucking Data. But, I mean, fuck. What does he do? Apparently the story is called Snow Queen, by the way. Picture Musk coming face to face with a mob. That would be a life's encounter. He literally wouldn't know what it is. You're Elon Musk. You try to get a girl by giving her a horse. The horse steals your girl and your company. I would let that happen, actually. Like, the horse, you know, gives, you know, like, such a good fuck to that girl. Which I guess that implies that girl likes him big. And, basically fucking also, you know, takes my company. You know what? Even though the whole zoophile shit would be very fucking little questionable and sus as fuck, I mean, I'll let it happen. I'll be okay with it. I'll let it happen. I mean, you know, it's like, fuck it. You know, if the horse, you know, just went Giga Chad on me like that, I mean, and literally went stallion mode, I mean, fuck. I mean, you can't really fucking, like, outflex that a little bit. I mean, is how you put it, like, I mean, that's like straight up Stallion Giga Chad mode. That's not just Giga Chad, that's like Stallion Giga Chad stud magic and shit right there. Don't worry, the horse is magic. He's a furry horse. He's an anthropomorphic horse. You know, he's autonomically correct, but he's an anthro. See? Alright, there we go. See? We made it work. I have a question. Okay, and I'm worried if you fucking straight up are saying that. Like, what? You have a question, huh? Zeus? Is friendship magical? Oh yes, friendship is very magical. That's why the bronies are very much into the whole idea of friendship's magic. And yes, Zeus. Well, honestly, Loki too, if you think about it. Because, like, what's fucked up is that, like, Zeus' mom literally morphed into a snake to literally get away from his fuck lust. And Zeus basically was just like, yo, I'm gonna turn into a snake and fuck my mama. And basically, snake raped her. Is this turning into a brony thing? No, it's not. I'm cutting that off right now. That's why I went to Zeus. Speaking of which, Zukov, I know he's outside, but, you know, I might run out there to go snag him really quick and get him back inside. Because I know how much of a little fucking Fruit Loop he can be about it. Like I lied, Zeus' snake mom is hot. I'm a furry, so I honestly can't really, like, debate that. Because honestly, as a furry, like, anthro scalies are low-key kind of a little bit of a thing, you know, so I can't, I legit really just can't fucking, you know, complain about that. Like, yeah, I tend to agree. Honestly, TJ's fucking, like, Discord with the furry section, like, I don't know who keeps, like, posting endlessly over there, but they are now my, like, new fucking, like, source. It's just like, I'm just like, yay. TJ recognizes and embraces us by letting us have our own little section in his NSFW Discord. Yay. And our dirty fucking minds are now, our furry minds are just now expanding further. And collaborating now, becoming more of a collective. Ignores the brony as canon. No, that is not. Like, no. That literally is not at all. Like, can you name me a time where I've talked about, like, My Little Pony on, like, any positive level? Can you actually fucking name me a time and actually link it to me? Because I guarantee you that literally does not fucking exist. I guarantee you there's negative things I've said, but not positive. So, I mean, at best, neutral. Because frankly, I don't give a fuck about the show. I mean, if people like it, they like it, but I don't like it. Mainly because the animation style kind of turns me off right off the bat. Like, some animation styles, like, honestly, frankly, especially when it comes to cartoons, the animation style just may make it or break it for me. And if it doesn't do it for me, and it's just, like, a little, like, off, or I just don't like it for whatever reason, then I'm just not gonna watch it, because, like, There's definitely certain styles I don't like, and My Little Pony's fucking art style, I don't like. So, just right off the bat with that alone, I'm not gonna fucking watch it. I don't care if people do, I literally don't give a fuck. But, I don't like it. It's like how some people literally just don't like anything Pixar because of their animation style, which frankly I get. Their animation style, especially when how they do people, are just very like corporate and bland and very like hyper rounded, big eyed. It's like the Western version of anime. It's just like ugh. Could weeboos and bronies team up and cross fandom anime crossover? They literally do. That already happens. In fact, a lot of bronies also tend to be heavily into anime. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. Mainly because I'm not even fucking kidding, maybe not a lot, but there are some brony types that tend to be legit incels. And a lot of them are also into anime. And a lot of them are also into the weird alt-right shit as well. So it's just like, there's a lot of various, different crossovers that can happen with shit. I mean, same thing with the furry fandom, honestly. Like, they're dead-ass unironically are furries who are also fucking outright Nazis. Like, I'm not even kidding. So, I mean, I'd punch them in the face just like any other Nazi. So, whether they're furry or not is no fucking problem with me and shit. Like, whatever. Like, I could give a fuck. If they're like, all about that, like, gay furry butt fucking going on and all that shit, but are still yet an absolute Nazi, it's just like, you're still getting the fist, bitch. Like, fuck you. In fact, the OG Nazis will literally make you first in line before fucking Jews in the fucking chamber, dude. Like, are we serious? Like, and, it's like, pretty much any furry who's also a Nazi, like, I just look at them, I'm like, you do realize that the literal SS will look at you and be like, you're first in line. Like, first thing in the morning, you realize this, right? Like, I mean, it's just like, good lord. Nazi first should be an oxymoron as if Nazis will allow furry degenerates. Exactly, that's what I mean. Like, they worshipped a lot of weird, like, German/Norse pagan shit. But if it came to people just, well, like furries, like on their off time enjoying shit like that, that would be absolute verboten. Like, there'd be no way. I mean, it's just like, there's one thing for their weird German mystical Aryan pagan worship, versus like fucking just like, oh, I'm a furry, it's like, and frankly, on their side, that just wouldn't even fly in the first place to even become a thing. Boss told me about the time Nazi furries threatened to bomb a furry convention because the organizers wouldn't let them in because the whole convention... I remember that, I think. There was one time that somebody tried to put chlorine gas in the ventilators in the hotel of I think it was Midwest Fur Fest back in, I think, 2013 or 2014, actually. And it caused the convention to be shut down for the rest of its tenure. because I think it happened on the first day, like halfway through the day. And oh shit, yeah, like I remember this happened in 2013 or 2014. I remember being in high school specifically when it happened, so it was in that time frame. Maybe 2015, but it was within that time frame. This one, the boss told me it was just a threat. Yeah, no, there was another time where some people, whether they were just fucking around or legitimately trying to cause harm, like legit tried to do that back in the day. This one boss told me it was just a threat. Yeah. I mean, it's honestly, and I don't, to this day, actually, I never followed up with that particular story when it did break out, when I first heard about it years back. But if I remember, I think it was speculated that there was a few people who were just, like, really, like, anti-furry and shit that were known to kind of be trolling with them a little bit, and, they thought it might have been them. But there was also another speculation it might have been a leak within some of the pipes and shit as well. But I never followed up to see whether there was a confirmation on, like, what truly caused it. But either way, it's still a little like, it just happenstance happened during a furry convention. It made me feel like, to this day especially, like, yeah, that felt like someone tried to attack it. I mean, it kind of went around the news cycle for, like, at least the day it happened, but it never really got, like, that much coverage. But this one time, guy busted a can of liquid ass in a ventilation system in the school I went to. The entire school so awful for a week. Oh, man. Oh, dude. Fuck. That's just horrible. Oh, that's worse than chlorine, honestly, because that's for weeks. And also, like, ass particles, and also, like, whatever, like, E. coli particles, and fucking all that shit. Aw, man, dude, that's actually worse. That's, like, worse fucking chemical warfare. That's, like, biochemical agent warfare right there, bro. For weeks, man. Fuck, bro. Why even? Was he expecting masochistic Alabama administration to actually cancel school? I doubt it. Honestly, as fucked up as it is, Occam's Razor probably speculates that the dude seriously had shit and didn't necessarily want, like, to clean up the mess, so he went in an event. This summer school, so only bad kids like me and unlucky teachers had to endure it. Luckily, dude, my sympathy for the fucking teachers, man. Oh my god, dude, they bust their fucking asses. Then you got, like, teachers that have to, like, do overtime and do summer school bullshit. Fuck, oh man. Luckily, did at least have AC. That would also go through the fucking vents. They would smell it either way. Oh, man, I don't think that would matter, man. Oh, man, I feel bad, dude. You gotta get out of that state. Honestly, if there's a, like, actually, speaking of which, did you ever, like, Venom, did you ever get that, like, a job at that little local mom pop thing? Like, I remember trying to hit you up about that. It would be even worse if I had AC picture it too hot and smell like ass. I mean, fair enough. You are right. Fair enough, yeah. Especially when you got that, like, musky, like, marsh, swampy ass, like, Alabama ass heat. Ugh. Yeah. No, I see, fair enough. Touche. Because at least then it wouldn't be, like, as pungent. Because then, also, yeah, like, really, though, because think about it, because if you got, like, a room, that's why I haven't been showing as much of these streams. I'm exhausted from working. Hey, well, there you go. I kind of figured. But, hey, I mean, honestly, like, when you see up enough, bro, you gotta get the fuck out. And honestly, it's like, if I am able, like, even if it is, gets a little cramped, like, fuck, if I get a space, it's like, I mean, we'll figure some shit out, dude, because you gotta get the fuck out of Alabama, man. This is such a shithole, dude. I mean, because, like, if you're in Texas, I can be like, all right, at least you're in a state that may or may not, you know, like, you know, have a plausibility of a state that, you know, can eventually turn around in the long term or midterm, more so than the short term. But, like, Alabama, though, I really don't see that until, like, the long term, you know, changing around a little bit. So it's like, you gotta just get the fuck out. Like, you gotta get out, man. Like, there's just certain elements of the South that are just, like, TFG shit. And no, we couldn't turn on the AC without risking smelling like a shitty toilet. Ugh. See what I mean? That I would have walked out. Yeah, I would have just said, fuck that, dude. Hell, it probably would have been better to, like, have class outside at that point. I mean, you know, at least the wind would help, you know, kind of cool you a little bit. I mean, fuck, dude. At least the wind will help. I mean, like, if I was the teacher, I'd be like, okay, because of what happened, you know, a couple days back or a week back or whatever the fuck, like, we're going outside. We're doing this outside. We're having class outside now. Like, the wind will at least, you know, keep us cool. You know, get some bottled water. They lock the doors behind us during summer school. What the fuck? Was that a prison or a school? So none of us escape till class is over. What if you got to piss? What if you got to shit? What's the difference? God damn it, man. You are right. What is the difference? Especially these days, especially with what at least Republicans are calling for when it comes to schools. Let's make it like airports. Let's have, like, you know, a one-way in, one-way out, and have a bunch of fucking, like, SWAT security manage it. Let's have teachers basically also act like guards and have guns. Because, you know, short-tempered teachers are totally not going to use that to threaten fucking kids, you know, to obedience. Oh, and also, by the way, have, like, half of the fucking police department just, like, patrol the entire school. And also, have, like, barbed wire fences that are like 20 feet fucking tall that are also electrified. And also we're gonna have like 8 security checkpoints before you can even enter the fucking doors of that bitch. We're just gonna fucking make it like even more of a prison than an actual prison. We're just gonna, like, you know, go full TSA airport status. We're gonna go full prison status. We're just gonna go outright just like, we're gonna make these kids, you know, hardened up like little fucking miniature little baby child soldiers. We're gonna, you know, go make sure they have some boot camp. We're gonna, you know, train them on how to use some guns so they can defend themselves. Oh, wait, am I saying some of this part a little too out loud? Like, honestly, some of the shit that I've heard, some of these, like, has anyone seen, like, the 50 different, like, hold on, let me find it. Because it's dead ass, like, a compilation video of, like, 50 different, you know, things that fucking conservatives have advocated for. Let's see if I can find it. Is it in this? No, not in this video. This one? Oh my god, I won't even... Can I... Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, it is this video. Okay, here we go. Here.
Every single time. A Media Matters journalist decided to put together a compilation of all of the times Republicans on Fox News have proposed a solution, and she had 50 in particular. And notice how not a single one of these solutions has anything to do with guns or gun reform.
I advocate always for an armed security guard.
Armed school safety officer.
Armed deputy. Arming teachers.
Potentially arm and prepare and train teachers and other administrators.
Armed school staffers.
Bring in policemen.
Training the students themselves.
We're tired.
Yeah, okay, so there's some of the fucking child soldier boot camp shit I was talking about, by the way. It sounded hyperbolic, but no, it wasn't. It literally wasn't. we gotta train these kids to, have some guns and, fucking be child soldiers to defend themselves in the fucking war zone that is the school grounds. It's just like, and also retired like, I mean, I'm honestly, I think, depending, like, I think at least every school, at least in this current fucking, status in, the United States, I think, honestly, there's only one thing I do kind of agree with is having, a very, obviously, I think, a very strict regimented training, but having some, staffed officers or some sort of staff security that are specifically trained to defend the school grounds and protect the people that are within those grounds. And also, at least, when it comes to more serious circumstances that might happen at school when it comes to, like, between students or between, a teacher and a student shit, they could be there as a potential mitigator, at least in those type of scenarios. But nonetheless, their main duty is to protect the school grounds, but from whatever, could potentially go through. Because honestly, I remember in my high school, we had one of our local police officers who was essentially that. And, like, I mean, honestly, there was even some times where there were situations where, he probably wouldn't have been called in for, but, like, it was already addressed before he even got there. So it's like there's some times where, like, I mean, it's not even totally necessary, but at the very least, there should at least be one or two people who are very specifically and prioritized in their shifts or directly, only involved in, being in these areas. And their training and their, prioritization is fucking, like, understood. Because, like, that needs to be the case because there's been too many instances, like in Portland and obviously in fucking Uvalde in more than fucking one way, where, like, officers have failed to do their fucking duty in this shit. Because in Parkland, there was one of these on school officers and shit, and he literally ran away. And then in Uvalde and shit, they just fucking sat there for over a fucking hour, and if anything, literally pepper sprayed and fucking arrested and were threatening the fucking parents to not only make them do some shit, but were, for having the gall to do shit themselves. Frankly, I mean, like, I'm surprised the parents were as militant about that shit as, as they were, honestly. Because a lot of them were like, let's just rush in there, fuck these cops and shit. And frankly, and that was what caused, some of them to start getting pepper sprayed and arrested and shit. But it's because of that. And it's like, oh, because y'all do fuck all, and suddenly someone wants to be the legitimately kind of a good vigilante and actually, do some shit and save their fucking kids and others and stop a shooter and shit. It's like, oh, no, pep spraying your ass and you're also getting arrested for, temporary time. And the only reason why some of these people were released and shit was because they were fucking convinced by other officers and the rest of the parents that weren't arrested. Like, and they ran in there anyway. Like, as soon as they were released, they basically ran in there and got their kids out. So it's just like, the fuck? If we're going to have an unregulated gun culture, we should offer classes on gun safety at school then. Like, high school only. And honestly, as an elective course. If that's, I mean, I'm not really 100% sure about that. But, I mean, if it is, like, something that's proposed, like, I would only want it for fucking high school. And frankly, really only for, like, juniors and seniors, if that's the fucking case. And it's an elective course, and it's like off of school grounds, like at a separate area where you take like a little bus and you go there and come back, once the class is over. Like, I mean, it needs to be a very strict regulated type of thing if that would be something that schools propose to do. But even then, I'm honestly not even sure if I'm comfortable with that. Because, like, think about it, like a lot of these, type of thing. Because, like a lot of these school shooters, they tend to be, like, 18, 19, maybe 17 or shit. And they would definitely be taking those fucking classes. And if there's definitely some outside, like, some outcasts that are definitely taking these type of classes and shit, it's like, I mean, if they were to be there would have to be a stopgap to be like, hey, we're noticing that there's probably a student or students that are in this class that probably really should not be here. and it's for probably their own or for others' safety. You know, essentially like an extension to the red flag laws, you know, or at least an establishment of such things. Like, there needs to be something in place for shit like that, if that's something that would be allowed. But honestly, yeah, I mean, Rose said it right. I mean, somehow I don't think guns and a range of hormones is a good combination. That's why I think, you know, purchasing firearms should be across the board, whatever gun it is, should be 21 and over. Like, I've kind of felt, you know, somewhat that way, but, you know, at this point, like, yeah, that needs to be a legitimate, like, advocation for it at this point. Like, seeing Adam Kissinger even advocate for it, like, at least one Republican out there that's, you know, advocating for some regulations on shit, is starting to fucking say something. And I was saying, like I was saying earlier about him, you don't think he's going to fucking, like, you know, try to, like, talk to some of his colleagues that are more close with him about this type of shit? And at least in his, you know, more Republican conservative, you know, leaning rhetoric, you know, convince him of that type of shit. Maybe not all of them, but I'm sure there'll probably be a couple others that might, you know, start joining him on this idea. And if he's at least legitimate about that, I mean, then, hey, you know, broken clock right twice a day type of thing, right? Well, I can't wait for them to die. Henry Kissinger. Yeah, that guy's an outright war criminal piece of shit. But at least Adam Kinzinger, I mean, he's just kind of another corporate Republican fuckbag, but, I mean, at least he's legitimately, at least for the meantime, has garnered some respect from me. At least when it comes to the whole specific thing about America's gun culture. Outside of that, like, fuck him. But, I mean, at least in this specific issue, like, okay, I hope he keeps fucking, you know, going on about what he's talking about here, especially what we were seeing from earlier. But here, let's watch the rest of this, because, like, we're only on the 9th, by the way.
Hired law enforcement. We can offer them tax breaks. If you give law enforcement...
Tax breaks? Like what? Like that's supposed to incite people? Incentivize people, I guess?
Martial law, we can guarantee safety and security.
So just establish fascism.
In that perimeter, kind of providing kind of a ring of steel.
You have the fences,
ring of steel.
You have the main administration building, and then you have wide gaps on either side. The fencing's not very high.
Where the door's locked. Bulletproof glass. All of these shootings have happened at the same time that we see religion and Christian values and Judeo-Christian values declining.
Guess what? Some of the most atheistic, you know, fucking countries like the Czech Republic and fucking like Norway and shit like that literally do not have these fucking problems. And honestly, the only country that has had issues like this was Norway, and that was Anders Breivik, and that was like what, like over, like what, maybe, probably like what, 2 decades maybe, but at least over a decade now. But what, like 2 decades ago? I mean, it's like. I mean, when it comes to these type of fucking issues, a lot of other countries, especially in Europe, mainly in Western Europe and shit, religiosity... Okay, that was so off. Hold on, I need a... I'm gonna get him inside, hold on. Took off. Hey. Get in here, bro. Come here. Get the fuck in here. Don't be poofing at everything. Oh, you're all wet. Oh my god. How'd she even get in the front yard again? Yeah, alright, whatever. No, we could do, we could just have gun-toting robots at school as security. Present hall pass. You have 10 seconds to comply. Oh, okay, here's my hall pass. You have 5 seconds to comply. Here's my hall pass! This is my hall pass! You did not comply. Obliteration now commencing. Let's go fucking Robocop mode.
Who decides that they want to do something like this should immediately know that attacking a school is a death sentence for them.
Kids are afraid of being the school snitch.
We have to stop letting these schools be gun-free zones.
People need to put their phones down and get to know the person next to them.
We have spent millions of dollars on COVID-related measures for our schools.
Just put the phone down, bruh. Put the phone down, bruh. Get to know the people around you, bruh.
that money and divert it over to hardening these soft targets.
A lot of these.
By the way, hold on. Can we just, like, rewind about this fucking blonde fucking fox cunt bitch whore money soaking dirtbag piece of shit with just how she decided to describe kids?
And divert it over to hardening these soft targets.
A lot of these.
She calls little children at schools soft targets. That's how she fucking thinks of fucking kids, by the way. So let's just, remind ourselves about how fucking Republicans think of kids. Or at least, this a good chunk of them. We gotta harden up our little child soldiers so they're not soft targets. Maybe we should get some bulletproof vests, start getting some military training at the age of 5. Maybe some of those African warlords were actually on something. Maybe some of those, like, Afghani warlords are actually onto something, you know what I'm saying? Some of these, like, developing and, like, undeveloped, the global south countries, with the warlords and shit like that, like, maybe they're on something with that. We need to make sure our soft targets are actually more hardened up so they're hard targets. So they're actually, like, harder to fucking kill, so we can have them, kill the others instead, because I'm a fucking crazy psychopathic bitch.
They take security way more serious.
Parents, take your children to church.
Like, what? Like, no one's taking security seriously?
This anti-police narrative is forcing people not to call police.
A series.
Yeah, because they do fuck. Okay, I'm about to, like, okay, I can't stop every single time. Like, holy shit, I can't go off every single time they, like, this compilation goes on.
At the school entrance that are triggered by a tripwire, and it traps the shooter like a rat.
Got it.
How in the fuck are you even gonna do that? Like, I mean, really, like, what? Make, like, a school like some fucking like, what? Schools are already a fucking maze as it is? I mean, man, I remember the first day of showing up to, the schools I go to and shit, and literally it'll be like a maze. I'm like, where in the fuck am I going? I mean, hell, like, every fucking, like, I remember, like, every high school year, I'd be like, alright, where the fuck are these places? Like, what room is this? Where the fuck is that? Where do I find that? Like, there would be times where I'm like, what? Like, even senior year, there's a few times I'm like, where in the fuck is this? Like, what room is that? Like, where, hell, what? I mean, it's just like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, guess what? Honestly, especially considering it's a school, you can already do that. And frankly, in Uvalde especially, the dude locked himself in one of the fucking classrooms. Like, so, all in all, I mean, like, he was already trapped like a rat. Like, all you have to fucking do is just, like, burst in the room and boom. Or, look for one, if the room had windows, peep in through one of the windows and just shoot for the fucking window. Like, cause you see a kid who's obviously not, like, a fucking first, second, or third grader, who's 18 with a gun. I think you can obviously tell who the fucking target would be by that point. It's just like, ugh. And even then, like, I mean, it's like, when these things happen, I don't immediately, think, oh, kill him, or whatever the fuck. I mean, honestly, especially considering the background of this, kid, I mean, it's just like, I mean, honestly do have some empathy. Not for what he did, but for, for being such an outcast and shit. Like, I mean, there's a lot of things I can kind of relate, but doesn't justify it, of course. Still fucked. And at the end of the day, he, should have at least, through the court of law, saw justice, about it, but obviously didn't happen. And frankly, honestly, I'm starting to question whether even Border Patrol whacked him or not, when it came to it, either way, because, like, the whole story about how the fucking cops handled this entire fucking situation literally keeps changing basically every time one of them fucking utters their viper mouth. So it's just like, honestly, like, did he off himself, or did he fucking, like, did Border Patrol get him? Like, at this point, like, I mean, what do I even fucking believe with that shit? Like, I mean, until there's, like, a full-on fucking investigation with it, like, it's like, who, like, I mean, what? Like, the cops literally never did fucking shit at all. And their story changes every fucking time, one of them gets interviewed. And even then, every time they re-interview them, they change their story. So it's just like what? It's just like, I mean, considering post-truth society or whatever the fuck, I mean, you could just basically, you know, pick whichever one you think is more true. And considering it's coming from a fucking viperous fucking venom pig, you know, like, I am frankly not gonna believe any of them. It's just few bad apples, but all little humans are vicious monsters. This is where logic goes to die. This is where our logic dies. All immigrants are, you know, collective fucking monsters, but the cops are all individuals, and every now and then some of those individuals tend to be kind of bad. Just, you know, every now and then. Deadass. Actually, one of my coworkers said a base but funny thing. He was just like, there needs to be, like, you know, some psychological studies on boomers, you know, and I wanted it, like, where he's just like, I want to do a research paper on, like, why basically led to boomers having, like, a IQ, like a 200 IQ drop, you know, in comparison to the rest of the generations after them. And it's just like, you know what? Based and true. And frankly, you know what? That probably explains why so much like of this bullshit is around when it comes to a lot of the older generation. It's probably legit lead poisoning. Like, honestly, there's fucking lead in goddamn everything back in the day. Like lead paint, fucking, like, you know, pencils and shit probably had some of that bitch. Like fucking, like, lead piping, like fucking, like, so much shit had it. You know, during like the boomer generation and prior to that. So honestly, in a lot of ways, it makes sense why there's so much irrational, illogical fucking, frankly, you know, even some cases, and this is, I guess, in a way, ableist, legitimately, but, like, borderline retarded fucking, you know, ways of thinking when it comes to this type of shit, you know, so fucking rampant when it comes to so many boomers, especially, and shit, because, well, lead legit makes you more stupid. It legit does. And considering how there's so, like, they always like to make the racist joke out of, like, oh, a lot of black people are just kind of dumb because they, you know, a lot of kids eat lead paint, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, you did too, motherfucker. Like, so do you, bitch. Like, what, you think you're excluded from that, motherfucker? What, your paint is somehow, like, lead-free? Because you're, like, white and you're, like, your whiteness somehow, like, makes you immune to lead? Like, fuck out of here. Sure, it wasn't that much back in the day. Who wants some ice cream bars made of lead popsicle sticks? Oh my god, for real, dude. And that's why I think so many of these fucking ideas have continued, you know, like, trickle down and shit, because when you have a lot of people that are born and raised and growing up with a lot of that type of, like, lead poison fucking mentality and shit, they end up kind of acting the same, even if they aren't necessarily poisoned with lead either. I mean, that's why you see a lot of young people that fall for shit, you know, fall for a lot of this shit too, and very ignorantly and naively so, because that's just what they grew up around. It doesn't happen for all of them. I kind of grew up around it a little bit, but I'm a fucking flaming anarchist union leftist, so, you know, obviously it doesn't always work. But a lot of people don't have access to, you know, open source of information, so a lot of the people, especially that suffer from a lot of these type of ailments, like lead poisoning or other shit, tend to be out in the literal goddamn boonies and out in the fucking middle of bumblefuck nowhere, and are probably still under the infrastructure of, like, the 70s, where there's, you know, where lead was still a thing, and they're still getting fucking lead in their shit. You know, so, I mean, frankly, like, I mean, if anything, some places are still, you know, like, in a lot of young people, especially in places like in the South, they're probably still getting, like, lead poison bullshit. I mean, I would hope not, but frankly, I mean, probably. Considering how the last time there was massive federal infrastructure works and shit was, like, what, like the 60s or the 70s? Even if then? Like, I know the biggest one was during FDR's time.
There's a moral rot going on that we all need to dig in and try to address.
I vote for decreasing social media exposure.
We need to start focusing on mental health. Tell us why you think it's important to pray in a moment like this.
It calls for faith.
Oh, fuck off.
And and prayer.
Why is it that schools aren't protected in the same way that airports?
There are some people who don't want police officers in schools with guns because other people are triggered.
Assault rifle and enhanced body armor.
A notification system to let everybody in the school know what's happening.
I love that boy. Don't be triggered that there's like a cop of a gun there. I literally am not. Like I said, like back in high school when I was, at my high school and shit, there literally was. Like, he was dressed just like any other cop that would be on the police force. He was just specifically there to be at the school, and that was it. And frankly, it's just like, I was not triggered at all. If anything, he was just literally kind of like an old bald guy with kind of a short, scruffy beard a little bit. And if anything, he would literally just kind of like chat and hang out with you. Be like, hey, what's up? How you doing? How's your school stuff going on? And blah, 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 blah. Like, if anything, he was legitimately like one of the actual like cool cops that didn't give a fuck who you were. He was just kind of like down to chat with you when he had fuck all to do besides walk around the entire place. I mean, like, if anything, it's just like, I'm so triggered. I mean, honestly, like I said, especially in the United States, at least as it stands currently, I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea to at least have one or two, depending, like officers who are specifically specialized and specifically staffed to be, at these places. And their job, as an officer is, more specialized, for that in comparison to, being, like any other, beat cop or whatever the fuck. I mean, honestly. And so it's like, you're just triggered. I love how they still think that, like, that's like a talking point for, to go against the left or some shit. Don't be triggered, snowflake lefty. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. It's like the right wing are the ones who are the most trigger snowflakes these days, more so than anything. Like, if there is some horseshoe theory going on, it's with that. Like, if anything, like, back in 2013, 14, maybe they might have had a point. And even then, not really, because they always, fucking, just took a lot of the fucking major loud minorities of the entire fucking thing anyway. You're wet, bro. I don't want you on me. You're wet. I guess they need to get the lead out. Yeah. It's just they don't when they're actually needing to run away. They exist to feed a prison industrial complex. Yep. Triggered lefty. Trump sucks. How dare you, communist liberal? For real. Like, these bitches tend to be the most triggered motherfuckers ever. And it always was. Like, I mean, shit, like, a lot of the fucking original people that started settling in America are, like, fucking religious, moral, Puritan prudes who are triggered at the fact that there was more, like, libertarian type of ideas and, like, more liberalized ideas going on in the fucking Europe. And honestly, that's why Europe has been far more ahead in comparison to the Americas, to this fucking day, because of that shit. Honestly, that just really is the case. Because a lot of people that saw that as no buenos in their fucking mind, in their weird religious zealotry, they fled to places like in North America and, South America and shit. I mean, that's why in a lot of ways, Europe is not as much as religious and shit, but yet it's, there's still a lot of religiosity here in the Americas. Whether it's like Catholic, Protestant, or whatever the fuck. Every leftist gets called anti-American, whatever, communist, whatever, liberal, then 5 words. I mean, at least, for me, that tends to be true, because I'm definitely not a lib. I don't like libs, so. At least when it comes to corporatist libs, the shit libs. Like, I see them more as, like, even more so as venomous, two-faced vipers, more so than, like, right-wingers. But, I mean, either way. Like, at least when it comes to, like, just, I guess, your common, everyday, like, lib, that happens to, just be on the ground, or, like, in your workplace, or in your community, or whatever the fuck. I mean, not as much, but every now and then, it's like, It kind of peers out. Single point. Oh yeah. Just another one of their little things. Here we're at we're 8 more points.
I don't like talking about this stuff as it happens because I don't think it contributes anything positive.
And yet, literally, like 42 points prior to that are basically like different, ways of like, hey, here's maybe at least a weird Republican lingo and jingo version of it. Like, here's like our version of positive ways to solve this. But then that dumb fuck is just like, Greg Gutfeld, I think his name is. I forgot. Who gives a shit? But it's just like, he's just all like, oh, just don't talk about it. Just shut the fuck up. It's not something that needs to be discussed.
For raising their children properly.
Ballistic blankets.
We just don't have the resources to get law enforcement there quickly.
How about an
Oh, that's fucking rich. Oh my god, that's fucking rich. You know what? There's too much. How about that? How about them apples, bitch? There's too much fucking funding for them to go show up properly. Maybe if like 90% of their police funding all over this country was gutted and shit. Oh yeah, maybe they'll start wanting to fucking prioritize their shit then, because they want to try to earn it back as much as possible. These kids just use Halo force fields. Just the force fields of Halo.
mental health facilities.
For real.
Rebuilding this country and returning to God.
I arm myself.
Return to God.
Everywhere I legally can.
It's up to you to protect yourself.
So, martial law.
Legally protect yourself everywhere you can as well. It's like, yeah, that doesn't strike me as somebody who has some red flags, which is why we need some strong fucking red flag laws in this country. Oh, God. Because seriously, it's just fucking ridiculous. And I'm definitely, at least for myself, just definitely tired of just having the constant, just like, back and forth this stupid garbage. Sukov, what are you doing? What are you doing, baby? Because nothing inspires faith in God like seeing stories of kids getting slaughtered. And God blesses those children as they go up to heaven. Would you think, in, the right mind, or at least in a more just God, they would curse that? Like, curse this, fucking agent, like, the devil or whatever the fuck, for, slaying, my children, so soon, and having them to come back, so quickly. How, blah, 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 blah. And, like, all this other weird faith lingo bullshit that they could throw. I mean, it's just like, it's strange how God will, like, these days never seems to curse things that especially tend to be pretty bad, but it's always there to be blessing everything, even when bad shit happens, and be like, oh yes, bless this. It just shows the fucking sociopathic and evil and shit, honestly, when it comes to so much of, Christians these days. Because, like, I was watching TJ's Band of Hope, too, a little bit. He was delving into a lot of different, texts of the Bible and shit, but mainly directly of Jesus, especially when it comes to things of, like, the rich and, give it to the poor and stuff like that. And it's just like, seeing, like, knowing that and seeing how so far afield, Christianity is now, it's like, if anything, like, the OG Christianity, if anything, that died a long time ago. If anything, like, Christianity as the technical sense of it doesn't really exist anymore, outside of maybe a few people here and there and shit. But, like, it's essentially whatever, like, this hyper prosperity gospel, like, rich exploitative shit that it used to preach against has essentially adapted and co-opted its fucking name, for, well, the snake oil, salesman bullshit that it does now. And if anything, like, it makes sense, considering, organizations like the Catholic Church and shit. I mean, that's why, you know, there's like versions like the New King James Version, because that's like more of a elite, rich, established fucking version of the entire fucking book, which is honestly one of the more common versions that people get to read nowadays. So a lot of the shit that especially tends to criticize, you know, things like the status quo, tend to be a little like brush under the rug, you know, a little more, or you know, like rethought and, you know, and just like recontextualize, you know, of how it went when it came to the story. I mean, frankly, if anything, you know, someone like me is probably more aligned with what OG Christianity was in comparison to these fucking people. And even then, I don't even agree with the OG tenements at all. I mean, at least not all of them. A lot of the whole, like, you know, aiding the poor and, you know, fucking on the rich and the status quo and challenging that. And a lot of, especially, you know, the character of Jesus, you know, and his tenements, like, yeah, I'm down with that shit. Not the whole, like, oh, heaven and God and blah, blah, blah. Like, fuck that. I could give a fuck about that. I just have a genuine interest of helping my fellow man. Because, like, no one should have to go through unnecessary suffering. I mean, I just legit just think that, and that's a good value that I think that should be upheld. But I thought the Bible was the perfect word of God, and therefore it didn't need to be changed. Well, humanity, through, you know, time immemorial, since, you know, Christianity's, you know, existence, is, you know, thought otherwise. But yet, at the end of the day, it's just, you know, a different, you know, translation and interpretation of what God thought. As God, you know, talked to these different people, you know, they looked at what he said and just, you know, had, curiously enough, a different idea about what that meant. So I guess, you know, it's the same God, but people just, you know, didn't necessarily interpret it the right way, you know. So my particular version of the Bible and what God is actually right, I'll just cherry pick the fuck out of it as I sort of perceive, but, you know, yeah. God's per unit Satan. I like that metric. You know what? Hold on. We just gotta. I'm feeling a tune that's a little heavy, but.
Before Jesus.
Hold on. Confess before Jesus. I'm turning it down though. God, no, I didn't mean it another way. That's why I wrote everything down. The Word of God knows more than you do. So what if you pray? It's just another day. It's hard to think of yourself. And we'll do nothing for the world today. Take a leave. Throw it away. Satan's per unit. N. Satan's per unit, unionized Starbucks. I mean, there's like, well, how many, like, of all the unionization efforts of Starbucks, how many of them succeeded? Like, what, over 90% of them? So, Koff, what are you doing with your booty, like, sticking straight up in the air like that? What the fuck? Weirdo. Ununionized. Oh, Satan's per unit. Damn, all correct dice in a row. Yeah, autocorrect is not being a fan of you. You got, just turn, you know, like, you can go into settings to turn that off. Like, you gotta turn that shit off. Autocorrect is a bane on humanity. The world today, take your belief, throw it away. Wow. hospital. He's unfazed by the lighter now, damn it. He used to go fucking psycho nuts with the lighter. Like, I would literally just do this to him. Not even to, like, do much, besides maybe, like, do that a little bit. Not even get close to him at all. And he would just go nuts over it. He'd be like... Now he's just unfazed. Ooh. Sukoff sucks. He sucks all the cuteness and adorableness in the world that's around him. It just strengthens his power. It's bullshit. Ooh. He doesn't got a right to do that. It's bullshit. I mean, it's like a little celebrity around here too now at this point, because every time I like take him out and about, everybody wants to fucking see him. It's like, oh my god. I didn't have him around to have like literally everybody be like, oh my god, he's so cute, I want to pet him. It's like, okay, I'm okay with it, but like, oh my god. There's so many fucking people, dude. Especially when I'm at my work and I'm like grabbing some stuff and I bring him along. Of course, at least, you know, my coworkers gotta, you know, see him and, you know, give some loves. I let that happen. But in between all that, like, of course, like, especially the old ladies, oh my god. Like, every other old lady is just like, oh my god, he's so cute! And just, like, you know, wants to pet him and shit and all this nonsense. Like, oh my god. You're just a little celebrity, bro. It's mildly frustrating because it delays all the time that I could be using doing other stuff. And then you get all butthurt because they walk away and do their shit. Oh my god, get over here. Come here. You're pawing at me and you want to walk away from me. You fucking degenerate. Old ladies per unit, oversized purse. So true, dude. So many of them have oversized purses. Come here. Baby. Come here, baby. Give me your paw. Hate is reality. Don't you know God hates? Oh my god! It's a bunch of shit. This is shit. Don't you know God hates? Lifting weights. Lifting the whole weight of Zukov. Oversized parts of candy that stopped being manufactured in the 70s. That leg is almost going. Jump dog. Okay, that was actually a workout on my arm. That was actually a legit workout on my arm a little bit. Oh, yes, a good boy. Yes, you is. Oh, it's so weird. He actually enjoys being a little percussion dog, a little drum dog. You're just a little drum dog. Just a good boy, yes, you is. Mwah. Just a good boy. You're a good boy. Yes, you is. And although you want to tell a woman, cough drops and Listerine strips don't actually count as candy. I figure you may need to get rid of bad cough and the breath might need occasional freshen up. Yeah, exactly. Especially if the old ladies. You little moans and grunts moans. Oh my goodness. Little percussion dog. Little goof baby boy. Just goof. You're just like moaning and groaning. Little noises, dude. You're just like, so cute. Are you serious? You still want to be on my lap after all this? Oh. These little noises. I can't, like, what the fuck? What the hell? Why? Why do you make these little, like, noises? Like, why? Why do you do it? Ugh. God, that felt like 1,000 pounds just lifted off of me. Yeah, you weighed like a ton on me, bro. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yes, you is. Don't give me this look. Don't give me that puppy eye look. Don't be doing that to me now. I just realized I got like fucking 7 hours until I have to fucking do a mid-shift. Cooking ribs. Oh man, I am going to have like not just coffee, but probably an energy drink. Oh boy. Part of me is thinking of like I was saying it a while back. I think last week, like yeah, might do an all-nighter. Maybe not all night and stream. Yeah, I might not do an all-nighter stream, but I might do an all-nighter. I have to get up early. Also, I'm out. Oh my god! Wow. I mean, I technically should probably be up by like 9 to show up at 10 for work, so that's gonna have to, you know, be a little situation right there. It's the only day I have to do it, and then I have a weekend, so as long as I, like, you know, well, as long as I'm within like the 15-minute margin of 10, that should be okay. I gotta like take a major fat fucking piss now. God damn it. You went outside, I can tell. I'll be right back just momentarily, just to let the salamander run free. But I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh Jesus! How much am I jumping?
Boy. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, you goof. Look at you. Goofball. Had to run him at least a little bit. Damn. Oh. Boop. Man. Like, do you get more energized when you fucking start running around like that? Because, holy shit. All you do is just tire me out. Silly fucking dog. But love him nonetheless. He's just nothing but a sweet boy. Yeah, but man. No, I'm just kind of curious. Maybe I should at least, maybe have at least some form of a nap. Just because I had at least some drinks, so. Thinking as long as I, stuff myself with some food, have some water, maybe take like a little nap. Make sure I have like 5,000 alarms leading up to 10 o'clock. I just kind of hope that we have weather that permits, doing ribs. Because, like, frankly, like, I'd rather just chill out there all day. That'd be nice. Because then I could kind of feign it in a lot more. I mean, either way, I'm doing mid shift, so it's nice. Yeah, I'll get this last little bowl loaded up, smoke it out, call it good for the evening. At the very least, I think, what I can do is at least, play a little bit of a video game. Before I do that, I'm making sure I at least, set my alarms. I guess I'm not necessarily too worried about it, but, it's always good to make sure. Better safe than sorry. Brawh. Yeah, you're a little punk loser, bitch. Look at you, Zukov, you little punk. You little punk. But a sweet punk at that. Nice. Anyway, I'll go for the rest of this little evening, so peace out. Now, of course, I'll be back around for the next one, so